All right, today we've got our good friend Meg Ryan with us. Meg, you are probably one of the most tooth and nail people I've ever met. And when I say tooth and nail people, like you obviously were raised on tooth and nail as if it was breast milk. I don't know if that analogy's ever been made, but it really is. It's truly a real thing. And I feel like Cullen and I we're definitely raised on that breast milk that is Tooth and Nail Records as well. So, you're one of the same. When I think of Cullen and I as Tooth and Nail kids, uh, you're just like you're one of us. Like you are a Tooth and Nail kid through and through. And obviously, there's many of those in the world, and so I can't think of any more Tooth and Nail person in my life, other than Cullen, than you, Meg Ryan.
I am flattered. Definitely, it opened an entire world for me, so I'm very
Yeah.
grateful that this label exists.
And you're still sucking on that breast milk that is Tooth and Nail Records. You never
I
weaned off of
guess,
that one. You
but
never
if
weaned
we're
off of it.
keeping
High
if
in
we're keeping the
iron.
analogy, it would be very old breast milk because
Oh,
I
yeah.
enjoy
Might be a little
the
curdled at this point.
older. Yeah,
Yeah, what do you
yeah.
call fermented breast milk? They have a name for everything that's fermented. They gotta
Sounds
have
like
From
mozzarella, isn't it?
yeah,
I was
something like
about to say breast milk cheese, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah. Sounds fine with me. I mean, it's what we do with animals. Might as well do it with humans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Who am I to judge, right? All right. Well, enough of breast milk talk. Let's dive into this episode. So the reason why we brought you on here, Meg, is obviously, again, you are like one of the more knowledgeable people I've ever met around Tooth and Nail Records. And we are in the year 2025, which means that exactly 20 years ago was 2005,
Hmm.
a great year of Tooth and Nail Records.
It's good
And
math
so
for a theologian.
that's yeah. I really had to. I really worked for that one, though. I really worked for that one. So, 20 years ago, in 2005, we were all at whatever ages we were. We're not going to disclose that, but we were at whatever ages we were. We were listening to Tooth and Nail records that came out that year, and so those albums came out. We were listening to all of them. And now here we are 20 years later, and we're looking back on those albums, and we're going to see what hit then, what hits now, and where do we rank it. So if you are a listener of this podcast, a longtime listener of this podcast, last year we did this specifically for 2004 solid state albums. So if you go back and listen to that episode, it's a really fun one. But this year we're going to do 2005 Tooth and Nail records, which means that there are some albums on here that you're like, well, that was technically released on Tooth and Nail. That's probably true. But it was actually technically, if you look on like the copyright, whatever nonsense on the back of the CD case, back when CDs were a thing in 2005, it actually says solid state. So if it was actually a solid state album that came out as a solid state album, we are disqualifying that from this list that we're going to go through. So these are specific Tooth and Nail albums that were released as a Tooth and Nail album. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to rank them, and then we're going to, based on that ranking, we're going to do a little S tier list to figure out where these all land for us. You might disagree with us. You might agree with us. We'll find out. But this will be a fun time to just reminisce. Back in 2005, when Nokia phones were still a thing, I was watching a lot of MythBusters, and I have no idea what you were doing, Colin, but you were probably just learning
2005?
about your own body.
Probably probably playing a lot of Star Wars on the Xbox.
Yeah, so probably learning a lot about your own body that time too.
Let's not go
No
there.
comment.
I will say though,
Yeah.
I do feel like I am like committing like record label adultery almost a little bit because we're doing Tooth and Nail, which is a fine year for Tooth and Nail records, but this is the best year, 2005, for solid state records. I mean, it was just like one magnum opus after another, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I do feel a little bit heartbroken that we're not doing solid state, but maybe we can squeeze one of those episodes in at some point before the end of the year. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll
I
find out.
appreciate you said that, Colin, because there is a record on the Solid State label from 2005 that kind of changed my life. And so I was like weighing it, but there's a bunch of other solid state albums from that year that I have never listened to in my life. So I had to forego one of my favorite records of all time to talk about other albums that I know better.
Understandable.
It's the price you pay. It's the price you pay when you're on BlackSheep
let's ask,
Podcast.
what was that record that changed your life on the solid state?
That was As Cities Burn, Son, I Loved You at Your Darkest.
Unbelievable one.
Yeah.
One of the
Correct.
best ones.
Yeah.
And guess what? You missed that. Was that the first year of Furnace Fest that they played that all the way through, Cullen? I
Yes.
do recall, Meg, you were not there.
I was not there. No, I was not. I don't
Was this
remember if it was.
I was
that
there,
2021?
front row.
Was that
I believe so.
2021, Mason?
I believe so.
You know how I remember that, and you might remember this too, is because it was when I first met you, and we had a conversation in Minnesota at some brewery, and you said,
That's right.
this is an incredible fest, like it might be a once in a lifetime thing. And I was hemming and hawing because the same night, one of my favorite bands of all time, Fiddlehead, was playing in the Bay. And so
that's right.
I did not go to Furnace Fest, but it also didn't work out with my work schedule at the time. So
Yeah.
I partially regret it. I partially don't. Fiddlehead was my first show back from COVID. It was pretty epic. I cried, but I do.
Okay, we saw Fiddlehead the very next year, so
Okay,
at
well,
Furnace Fest.
At Furnace
And you were not there either.
okay, I was there this year. Thank you very much. And that's why I ended up on this podcast, because Cullen said, "Hey Mason, why hasn't Meg been on the podcast yet?"
And I felt really guilty about it. So I was like, all right, we got to figure this out ASAP. So here we are. We figured it out.
Here we are. Yeah.
All right. Shall we get into this? Like I said before, no solid state albums. So if you're going to complain about the fact that there's no solid state albums, too bad. That's another episode for another time. And I actually would love to make that episode. So we'll figure that out. But we're going just tooth and nail. So if you want albums that are actually going to like hurt your ears, listen to that episode whenever that comes out. But we're gonna take the softer route. We're gonna take the cooler route. We're gonna take the ambient route. We're gonna take the indie route. So that's what we're gonna do. So there are 13 albums. We're gonna go through each of these albums by the order that they were released, actually. So we're gonna go in that order, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna rank them. Is this my favorite album of 2005? Tooth and Nail. I'm already messing it up. Is this my favorite album from Tooth and Nail albums in 2005, or is it my least favorite? And so we're gonna rank them 1 through 13, each one of us, and then based on our scores here that we rank them, then we'll be able to divide it out into our S tier, A tier, B tier, so on and so forth list. So we'll get that all figured out. So here we are. We're ready to go. Are you ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So the very first album that came out in 2005 from Tooth and Nail Records. And by the way, I should also note, no live albums, no compilations, none of that
Singles.
nonsense. These are
No
original
EPs.
albums, no
EPs,
no
no
deluxe,
best of.
no deluxes,
Yeah.
original albums that came out that initial year. So the very first one that came out, and it was actually February 1st, which is interesting. I don't think there were really any albums that came out in January. I don't know if if Tooth and Nail and Solid State like kind of avoid January release dates, but the very first one that came out, Amberlin's Never Take Friendship Personal. We're starting off with a banger, just saying. So, Meg, Cullen, myself, how did this album hit you when you were whatever age you were in 2005?
Go ahead, Meg. Take it
Okay.
away.
I will just say off the bat, I rank this as my number 2 of all of the 13
Ooh.
albums. I heard the song Paper Thin Hymn, and it was like right as I was getting into emo. So like not quite hard metalcore yet, not quite hardcore. Those came a little bit later, but it was like that screamy emo sound, like pretty much third wave emo, but with some screams here and there. What you would maybe call now mall screamo, but like the most perfect version of that. And that Anne Boleyn record had this beautiful mix of being poppy and catchy and like kind of joyful, but also had some like very freaking emo lyrics and like pissed off and relationship oriented. And having just gone through a breakup around this time, it was important to teenage Meg. And it stayed in my CD player for a very, very long time. My mom had some kind of, I think it was through Christian book distributors or something, but you were allowed to get like a certain amount of CDs per month. And so each of me and my 3 siblings got to choose one a month. And that is one of the ones that I chose from that month whenever it came out. And loved it. Still love it. I have seen them play through it all the way through live twice in 2025. Once was with Maddie, what's his name, who came over and took
Maddie
over for
Mullins.
Christian. Thank you. And then at Furnace Fest, like bomb dropped, Steven Christian shows up. Like he's singing. And I'm like, this is incredible. No, he was just there. I was like, maybe TMI, using the porta potty when they started, and I'm like, wait, that is his voice. That is not Maddie's voice. And so I was like, and I ran, and it was wonderful.
That all makes sense to me. You know, that when an album hits you at the perfect time in your life, it can have undue influence on one's experiences, right? That's the beauty of this little niche that we've kind of fallen into, especially. For me, this album was number 6. I think that it's a fine album. I think it's a very good album. And I think it's probably Amberlin's best album, in my opinion.
Hard agree.
I think that Stephen Christian especially was like, he was exploring a lot of different ways to utilize his voice. And as their career kind of went on, he kind of became more one note.
Yeah.
But this record, he is not afraid to just kind of experiment with everything.
Yeah.
And I will say, especially around this time, live, Amberlin was amazing because he, Stephen Christian in particular, amped it up big time. Like most of the set, he'd be pretty much just like screaming. And as a burgeoning or burgeoning metalhead.
You're about to say bludgeoning?
I almost said bludgeoning.
I didn't realize that he was on Solid State Records.
Yeah, right. As a burgeoning metalhead, I was like, oh, that's for me. I like that.
Yeah.
I will say, I do think that Amberlin's a little bit overrated in my opinion. I've never really felt like they do anything that is like so extraordinary or so out of the box, but what they do that very, very well is they make solid songs through and through. And that is the most important part of making music, is making songs that people actually want to listen to. So yeah, I have it at 6. Mason, where are you at?
It's actually at number 2 for me.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
This album, when I was, how old was I? Now I'm trying to do my math.
I thought we weren't doing that.
February of 2005. Well, you can disclose your age if you want. I'm not going to assume it. In 2005, in February, I would have been a 4th grader. So back when I was a 4th grader and this album came out, I mean, it was huge for me. I remember watching I think the song is called A Day Late. I remember watching that music video and just falling in love with that. And then also when, Paper Thin Hymn comes out, such a great song, so heavy. One of the things that I think, like, now looking back of why, I think back, like, why did I like Amberlin so much when I was that age? What they did, and I think it's part of the reason why I appreciate them still to this day, what they do so well is they are actually musically, if you take Steven's singing out of it, they are musically, at least in this era, a heavy band. Like they have some like meaty riffs that if you put a screen, like they could easily pass almost as this sort of like well, now we would call it as like an easy core band, but like kind of that post-hardcore kind of thing if you put some screaming on it. But they were a heavy band musically. I think what made them kind of in this more popular poppy element is the fact that Steven does kind of have this soft, gentle voice that can also do this really beautiful emo thing. And so that's why they kind of get catapulted into this more like pop, just alternative rock world. Whereas like, if you just listen to just the riffs themselves, they're pretty heavy. So anyway, I the way that Amberlin has been able to balance that dynamic between his singing and the kind of guitar writing and drumming and just the rhythm section that they're writing, they've been able to play that dynamic really well. And obviously I think this album in particular does it the most perfectly in terms of that dynamic. And so it's great songwriting. It's just that great dynamic. It's number 2 for me. It's an incredible album. Meg, you said that you saw them on the 20th anniversary tour. I just saw them as well with Copeland, and it was incredible. And they are just absolutely lovely. They're just incredible band. This is in particular for sure my favorite Amberlin album. It's probably it's probably the Amberlin album that probably the only one that I actually listened to front to back. So I love this album, but it's number 2.
Yeah. I have a couple footnotes to add, which I will not have for other bands, but since this is my number 2, I did want to say to Cullen, I agree with you that Amberlin in general can be overrated, and yet at the same time, because I haven't listened to much of their later stuff at all. I'm with Mason. I've listened to this album so many times. It's incredible. But I also agree when Mason said that, like, musically they're heavy. The first Amberlin song I ever heard was I think it's called Change the World, and it's from the record right before this. And I was like a freshman in high school, and musically it was so heavy, and that was exactly what I was starting to listen to at the time. And so it just grabbed me. And shout out to Tooth and Nail, I did want to say, at a local Christian music fest that I had been going to since I was in 4th grade, like Mason. A few years after it started, there was a Tooth and Nail booth there where you could buy Tooth and Nail merch and CDs and just everything. I bought a Tooth and Nail compilation, which had, I believe, Paper Thin Hymn on it, which is how I heard of Amberlin in the first place. Beautiful. So, shout out to the Tooth and Nail comp.
I actually do have one little footnote as well. I don't know if either of you ever traversed the wonderful website that was Pure Volume.
Oh, of course.
I know. Mason.
Why are you even questioning that right now? I feel offended.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Mason, I couldn't remember if you remembered, and then Meg, I wasn't sure if you did or didn't. But what I always loved was the fact that you could always like download 1 or 2 free songs.
Yep.
And that was my gateway into Tooth and Nail and Solid State in general. And this was one of the very first songs I ever downloaded off of it. So for good reason. All right, Mason, what's the next? Oh, yeah. Our score there is 3.33.
3.33. Wow. All right. So should we just put that in S tier right now?
I think that's probably going to be S tier. Yes. More than likely.
For now.
But we'll move things around as things go on.
Okay. So here we go. Whoa.
So that's what you got too.
Look at this fun little thing. All right, so we're at S tier, and we'll move them around as we go. So
I love that album cover too. I think that's something.
Is it really doing that?
It's gorgeous. Right, it's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Mace, what's the next record?
The next record is Bleach's "Farewell, Old Friends," which came out a month later on March 1st of 2020 or of 2005. So Bleach's "Farewell, Old Friends." I don't know if you want me to go first, but I'll just say sure. I didn't really listen to this album much if really at all, when I was younger. Listening to it now, obviously you get that like incredible like early 2000s alternative rock. I do think when I listen to that now, there's maybe this level of nostalgia, but I'm not sure if it's just nostalgia or if it's something where it's like, wow, this actually really stands up to this day. I don't know if I can like parse that out well enough yet. So it was an album that I honestly can't really say whether or not it hit back in 2005. And I also am not exactly sure how I feel about it now. I will say the guys from Bleach, incredible band. I'm super
Absolutely.
excited that they're like back together. They're doing things. And I will say though, for this album in particular, just not really sure how I think about it. So I do have it ranked number 11.
All right.
May I go next?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Cullen.
No, you're fine.
Okay. I just think I relate to Mason so much in this take. I loved Bleach in middle school, high school. Loved them. And then by the time this album came out in 2005, I was already shooting off into like either the genre of like indie, whatever that means, or like emo and like screamo stuff. And so I do not think I ever listened to this album until now, until I was like prepping for the pod. I think you hit the nail on the head, Mason. It's very alt rock, like early 2000s, late 90s. Like almost, there was one song, I think it was the second song on the album. It like gave me Sex and Candy vibes.
Marcy's Playground. Huh?
Yeah. Their first song, super Weezer. The third song with the piano just was a Christian Ben Folds song, in my opinion. So it was like kind of all over the place. And they're all not really my thing. Like all really not my vibe. I want to know what you guys think about this. The seventh song, I forget even what it's called on the record. It's very much the Jesus worship song where he says hallelujah a bunch. Why is that not the album closer? Why is that in the middle of the album?
Doesn't make much sense to me. It's like
I was so confused.
It's like an intercessory prayer, almost.
I guess just
both
right in the middle.
Both as an intermission and as like a cleanser, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, maybe it is an intermission. The second part of that like worship song is very rad. It's like 90s rock but better. But overall, not a huge fan of it, especially since I have these amazing feelings about their older stuff, and it was fun to catch a little bit of their set at Furnace Fest. I forget why I didn't see the whole thing. I was probably seeing some hardcore band in the shed. But I gave this one, similar to Mason, I gave this a 12. This was my number 12.
Oh, okay. Cullen, I will say I do have more commentary generally about this album after you go though.
Okay. I generally like Bleach, and I liked Bleach to an extent. I never had a chance to like get like their full album back in the day. I do remember downloading it off LimeWire. So
yeah,
it's one of them. Sorry to the bigwigs over there at Tooth and Nail, but yeah. So I only had like a handful of songs, and the songs that I did have on my iPod were songs that I always like pictured in a, like I would like walk my dog late at night and I would like make scenes in my head to the music I was listening to. That was just
cute.
Middle school me was funny. And so I always pictured like a Mandy Moore or like a Jessica Alba like romantic movie. And for some reason like Bleach songs always kind of like felt like they fit that vibe super well. But also like what you said, Meg, I definitely feel like so much of this feels like Weezer, which is funny because I kind of notoriously despise Weezer. And so
even when you see my bare chest singing Weezer with my whole heart,
only when Mason starts stripping on a party bus to the Sweater song, that's the only time that I like Weezer. So yeah, to me, it's fine. It's I think every song is really solid, but nothing is like incredibly stand out in any extremely meaningful way. But I do know there's a lot of people that absolutely adore Bleach, and I get why, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I do.
Yeah.
So
I want to be
8.
clear. Oh,
Okay.
8. I want to be clear. I don't know if Mason, if you feel the same way, correct me if I'm wrong. I like a lot of Bleach songs. I just don't like this album.
I would imagine that's probably kind of consensus with most Bleach fans as well. Here's my kind of thought around this, just generally, not about Bleach, but this album, it's literally called Farewell Old Friends. So they wrote this entire album knowing at least at that time, this is the last thing we're ever going to do.
Yeah.
And then they marketed it as that, right? Like they literally have an album called Farewell Old Friends, right? So it's kind of this thing where it's like, this is our last hurrah. You know, it's like Kobe Bryant right before the end of the season saying, hey, I'm gonna, you know, this is my last year or whatever, and I'm gonna do this farewell tour kind of thing. It's that, right? And I'm wondering, I don't know if I like that. Like it's one thing for a band to like go in, even if they knew like internally, hey, this is the last thing we'll ever do. Like I always have a speculation with Cullen about.
Right. Pause. You better just already start saying that you hate Amberlin, or not Amberlin, but As Cities Burn then, because they've done this so many times now.
You know who else did it? Five Iron Frenzy.
And
you
Five
don't hate
Iron
them.
Frenzy. Yeah.
Okay.
Your argument's going to go in the bad direction, Mason. You should probably
when did As Cities Burn have an album that said we're done?
How many times did they announce their?
No, I'm not talking about the announcement and going back and forth. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about an album that is released and marketed as this is the last thing that we're doing. That's what these guys did, right? It's Farewell Old Friends. Like they know that this is the last thing that they're going to do. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about the fact that literally an album is coming out saying like this is the last thing we're ever going to do. And it kind of feels like
it's a dumb nitpick. Stop it.
Yeah, it's just it seems, but I'm not saying it's nitpick. I'm just curious about like what you all think about that. I just find it really like that seems odd. Like I don't know. It just seems odd to me.
I think it's fine. For everything that's creative, there's always going to be a rebirth in some.
Like there couldn't be a different like marketing ploy of it. Like it couldn't be just its own standalone thing. No, it has to be like the farewell album.
Go ahead, Meg.
It's a little on the nose, but I feel like I can't agree with your take because one of my favorite Five Iron albums of all time is The End Is Near, and then the live album The End Is Here. And of course they came back and we're all happy about that and they're playing shows and I'm my 15-year-old self and my current age self are very happy. But I love that album and it gave me a chance to like grieve my favorite band. And so I can't agree with your take, even though maybe the title is a little on the nose and I just don't think it's a good last album. I think I care more about the fact that it's not a great Bleach album than the fact that it's their last album.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Also, you Five Iron's your favorite band and you didn't see them last year at Furnace Fest?
Yeah, crazy.
Okay, I saw them like 3 times within a year and a half. So give me a... I flew to freaking Colorado to go see them at a ska fest. So...
Better it was cheaper to live there for a hot second, wasn't it?
And I got to hang out with Leonore, so that was great. I know that you also got to hang out with her at Furnace Fest, blah, 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 but...
All right. The third album that came out on Tooth and Nail Records that year was none other than May's The Everglow. Oh boy. I'm really curious to see how we how we show up for this one. So who wants to go first? Also we can rank we'll rank both, or we'll do the S tier thing for both Bleach and May at the same time. But how do we want to do May's The Everglow?
I can go first.
Yes.
I will say this. I was late to the May game. I don't think I listened to the Everglow until like 2008, maybe 2009, somewhere around there. So I was very late to the game. But it is kind of interesting because by 2008, 2009, I mean, I was like full into heavy music. Heavy music and classic rock. That was like all I ever listened to at that time. And so it was kind of interesting that May, little old May, just like popped up into my life. And for some reason it captured my attention very, very strongly. I've always liked the lush kind of arrangements that have been created by May. And the Everglow does it better than any other record that they've done, in my opinion. I think their dynamics are on the next level. I think that the Everglow is also, not just the Everglow, but a lot of May's stuff. It makes me yearn for a time of when piano rock was a thing. Like when it was like a part of like the zeitgeist, you know what I mean? Like when
walking my way downtown, walking fast.
Yeah, and like
or Jack's Mannequin, something corporate.
Yeah, exactly. or like I kind of want that calming piano rock to come back, like so bad.
I cannot believe it still hasn't, but
I honestly, yeah, you brought that up probably like 2 years ago.
yeah, if new metal's coming back, why is piano rock not coming back?
Yeah, I think we got to wait like another half decade at least
I
until
know.
piano rock comes back. But when it does, it's gonna be great, guys. It's gonna be great. Yeah, May and have you guys ever heard the band Civil Twilight?
Well, you used to show
Yeah,
me.
I think I showed you.
all the time. Yeah.
They don't have a lot in common, but it's like that kind of piano rock that I want back in the world again, to be not just popular, but like, something that people actually listen to. So I have it at number 3.
Okay.
Go ahead, Meg.
I did hear this album when it first came out in 2005, but I did not own it. And that is because a bunch of my friends in my very Christian high school who did not like the screamy stuff or the ska stuff I was into around this time really liked very what's the right word I'm looking for? Like non-obtrusive, or just very
Easy listening?
tame. Huh?
Easy listening? It's not necessarily easy listening, but it's easier listening than what you were listening to.
Correct. So not violent,
abrasive,
not intense,
non-abrasive.
Very. Thank you. It's like, God, I've been teaching English all day long, using way too many terms, and my brain has shut down.
I know exactly how you feel.
That's a fact. Okay, yeah. So non-abrasive is correct. So my friends who didn't like that stuff loved May. So I heard this album driving around in my friends' cars all the time. And I enjoyed it. I didn't like it as much as they did, but I really enjoyed it. And being a piano player myself, I remember it's not from the Everglow, but the piano version of, I think it's called Giving It Away. Like I learned that song, and I used to know the beginning, the intro to the Everglow. And I still have a lot of affinity for this album. I never owned it on CD. I do still listen to the song. I think it must have been their single, but Suspension. I listen to that song on a regular basis because it is so good. And it's so cute too. The lyrics are so sweet. On my re-listen over the course of this week, the song Painless impressed me in a way that I don't think it did in high school, because it reminded me of like old Jimmy Eat World in the best way.
100%.
Yeah, and then The Ocean was also one of my favorite tracks back in the day. But yeah, even the title track is amazing. Probably my second favorite on the record. But I ranked this, I think, number 5. Let me check. Yeah, I ranked this number 5.
Good deal.
This might be the album where there's going to be the least differentiation.
I think so.
This album, what's interesting, so Suspension came out, Meg, you just talked about it. It was the guitar intro kind of riff in that song was the first riff I ever tried to learn on my guitar. I remember figuring out how tabs worked, because the thing is you can't just look at a tab and figure out. You have to figure out how they work. I remember trying to figure out how tabs work, and that was the song I was wanting to learn how to figure out. And so anyway, that song was basically kind of the first song I ever learned on the guitar. And it was because a lot of those kind of rock centric songs on the Everglow, they did something for me. They really did. And so I'm talking about back in 2005 when the album came out. And I still remember watching that Suspension music video on Steel Roots, and it almost kind of felt like, I think around that same time there was that movie that came out called Secondhand Lions. I don't know if you watched that one. Yeah, for whatever reason, the cinematography felt similar, kind of same setting. I don't know. Whenever I think about that music video, it kind of has that similar vibe. But anyway, great music video, such a great song. And then as I've listened to it since then, it has actually gotten better for me, because it was, and I don't know, I'd be curious to know, from a tooth and nail, especially people who are true tooth and nail historians. If it's like, it has to be one of the first. It might not be the first, but it has to be one of the more first concept albums on tooth and nail.
Probably.
Because like they really do, like, you know, they do this almost this storybook thing, right? Like, because I mean,
Yeah.
literally, as you're listening to the very first track, it tells you to, like, every time you hear this sound or whatever, like, flip to the next
Yeah.
page. And it's because they
Yeah.
do this whole like thing, like it's trying to bring you into this experience. And there really had, like, to my knowledge, there wasn't any tooth and nail bands that were trying to do that whole experience at that time. And that has made me appreciate this album even more. Plus, there's tracks, as you talked about, like with Painless, there's tracks on this album that I think a lot of people don't know about that are just absolute bangers.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just one of those albums that I think has actually aged really well for me. And it still remains one of my top 50 albums of all time. I will say the reason why I'm going to rank it where I rank it is because at the time there was only one or two tracks that hit for me. It's actually grown a lot. So I want to give that caveat, but it is number 3 for me. So Meg, I think you had it number 3 as well. So it's number 3 for me.
5.
I would like to put it higher, but just knowing where my top 2 albums are, I just can't. But it is an incredible album. It's unbelievable. Everybody should watch it or should listen to it. It's just incredible.
It's
That
number
puts
5
it
for
at
me.
Number 5, yep. That puts it at a 3.66. Also, I don't think we did Bleach on the.
Yeah, so
you're right.
let me share my screen. All right,
Yes.
so clearly, right now, and we'll move these around right now. But
So this is at a 3.66, which is very.
is that
close.
higher than?
It's just below Amberlin there.
So it should be
she
right
can put
here.
it at an A
Yep.
for now. Yeah.
Amberlin was at 3.33. May was at 3.66.
Also, by the way, if you're listening to this and you're like, wait, where are things going? This is like golf. The lower the score, the better. So just keep that in
Yes.
mind. I feel pretty confident that this is going to be probably more in the C tier.
Yeah,
but
that
we
was
can
a
move that.
10.33.
But that's Bleach.
That's 10.33.
That sounds
I
right.
think that's probably going to be C. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all right.
I ranked it
So
as a C originally.
there we go. All right. So we got to keep moving. All right. Next one, Starflyer 59, talking voice versus singing voice. This came out on April 12th of 2005. What do we think about this album?
Go ahead, Meg.
Ooh. Okay. So Starflyer is a band that I had known about since I was like 13 or 14, but I was heavily into ska at the time and did not care about like shoegaze at all. Probably did not know the term.
The
I don't think I
songs
knew
are
the term
3
until-
times too long.
I probably didn't know the term until college. Yeah, I mean, I think the first song I heard of theirs was on some Happy Christmas album, like the first one maybe, and I was like, this is way too sleepy for me, which is what I thought about every song of theirs I had ever heard at the point. And then I think I kind of forgot they existed or just had in the back of my head, like, that band is not for me. But probably if I heard them later, I might have loved them, especially when I got into shoegaze and more indie and like slower indie. But I have no context for this album in 2005. So this was not even a re-listen for me. This was actually a first-time listen, even though I have listened to Starflyer before. I had never done a deep dive and definitely never listened to this album the whole way through. I enjoyed the whole album. The opening track on this, I think, is like wildly ahead of its time. It's like bedroom indie dream pop-ish. And I wish I had listened to this album earlier. But yeah, I feel like I missed out. They just kind of fell out of my brain. And some of the songs gave me Alex G vibes, kind of. Like that indie artist guy. Even though this came out way before him. So I really, really enjoyed it. There's a song, let me see what I wrote down. Okay, the song Good Sons has like almost this post-punk vibe to it, which I'm very, very into. And then the chorus is super dancey. I really like this. I feel like I would have adored this album in college, but I did not listen to it until this week. So yeah, I ranked this album a 8.
Wow. Okay. Good. Mason?
I did not listen to this album when I was in 4th grade.
Shocker.
when I think about Starflyer, especially at this point, because I think his first album came out on Tooth and Nail probably 1994, right?
Yeah, it was.
That
It
was the
was
year I was
90s
born.
for sure. Oh
That was the
gosh,
year I was born.
Mason.
So
No.
I'll just say, like, by this point in Starflyer's career, I was 10, maybe 11 years old. I was not listening to whatever 10-year plus of shoegaze into whatever he goes into. That's just not for me at that point. So I'll be honest, I was not listening to this album when I was 10, 11 years old. So I'll take that. So it's really hard to like measure the growth of this album for me because I just literally did not listen to it back then. However, I will say, listening to it now, this dude is Jason Martin, and I've thought about this for a while. Like, Starflyer is next level in terms of songwriting, and
Yeah.
he is. I mean, he's kind of. I mean, obviously, he's like one of those people that just is constantly putting out material. Like almost every single year, there's something coming out from Starflyer, and he's just almost at this point. I like. He has released so many albums that it's hard to like imagine that he remembers most songs that he's ever even written.
Yeah. Definitely.
And this feels like one of those albums where he's probably written songs and recorded and literally released songs on this album that if he was listening to it, he'd be like, God, that sounds a lot like a Starflyer song, but doesn't know that it's actually him. Like he's just at that point, and this feels like that kind of album. And now I will say, obviously, this album is a little bit of a departure in terms of where it was, in the 90s, where it was super shoegazy.
Yeah.
This kind of takes a little bit more of a deconstructed vibe. But my goodness, it's like, it's so still Starflyer. And I don't know, he's just one of those people where it's hard to like, for me to really judge his album in the course of 2005 Tooth and albums, because honestly, he's released like 30 plus albums. Like, how do you even judge that at this point? So it's just like, to me, it's impossible to judge. So that's where I'm at with this album. It feels like impossible. It's hard to know. And I certainly was not listening to it back in 2005.
Yeah. So Mason, you and I are on the same page that this was our like first listen through, basically, of this specific album.
Oh, for sure.
And what did you rank it, Mace?
I have it at number 8.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, same as me.
Yeah.
I love Jason Martin. This record was quite important to me when I was young.
Really?
I had when you have an artist with such a long career, it's pretty easy to like fall out of listening for a while, and then you come back here and there. You might pick up one album and it really speaks to you, and then maybe you take a couple off because, again, like Mason was saying, so much has been done, right? Or so much has been made. Jason Martin is a musician's musician. He writes songs perfectly, in my opinion. He is very, very musical, very, very creative. Incredible riffs, goes against the grain, thinks outside the box. I think it's hard to kind of take in everything that every album has to give. Talking voice versus singing voice, I think, is Starflyer's second best album. I think their best album, I think, is Portuguese Blues, but I really adore this album, and it spoke to me when I was young. Fell out of listening for a while. Spoke to me a couple years ago. Fell out of listening for a while. Came back to it about 9 months ago, and just it's like these albums I'll just like throw on repeat, and I'll just like be obsessed for like a full month, and then I just won't listen for a while. But I have this as number 1. I think this is
Whoa!
The best album from 2005.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love
Cullen,
how you talk about this record.
What's
I
that? Say
go
that
go
again.
ahead, Meg.
Oh, I just saying I love how Cullen is talking about this album and how meaningful it is
Yeah.
to you. I just think that it's cool to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think that Jason Martin could do any wrong. There's not an album I dislike, but this one definitely hit me in some teenage angst places, and then also in some adult angst places.
Hell yeah.
So
Cool.
this gets a 16.33. So that's probably going to be
Wait, 16 point.
Or what's the average?
Yeah, the
But I
average
thought
is-
me and Mason both ranked it 8 and then you ranked it 1. So wouldn't you add those and then divide by 3?
Yeah.
that's what I did, I think. No, wait. you're
Well,
right.
16. Yeah.
I don't do math, guys.
I'm not
history
even a
teacher.
math
All
teacher.
right, let's go, history
but
teacher. Here we go.
It's still 16.33.
No, it's not.
What?
I just
No.
did it again. I don't know. Plus 8, plus
I will do it
Do
on
you
my
not
phone
know how to
right
do-
now.
okay.
one.
So-
3. Oh,
8 plus.
sorry, 5.6. That doesn't sound right.
There it
Yeah,
is.
There it is. Sorry, my bad, guys. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I feel like. Here, I'm gonna share my screen.
Don't
here.
ever make me do math, unless I'm doing your child's.
I might teach English, but I tutored math for a long time, so I'm a little reliable.
I took
right,
remedial
here's-
math courses in college, so
I feel like for now it's gonna be B tier, but we'll see where that goes.
What did we say it was? 5 point something?
5.66.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Cool.
I will say so, Meg. This might be interesting for you to know, as well as the listeners. This is the first time I'm hearing about this album from Cullen, so it feels like one of those things
Really?
where it's like I've known
Aw.
Cullen.
We've talked
I've
about
known-
Starflyer a bunch, though.
No. But this album in particular, I've known you for 17 years. I didn't realize that this album was that important for you. So
Aw.
that feels notable.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think what happens with a lot of Starflyer stuff is you tend to like group it into like eras.
Yeah, it's
Almost.
the albums are totally like they don't matter. It's just it's eras. That's interesting. That's
Yeah.
actually a
Yeah.
really good point.
Same
Yeah.
for me. Yeah. Cool.
Sweet. All right.
All right.
Mace, what's the next?
All right, next one. I'm actually really curious about this one for you all. So the next album that comes out on Tooth and Nail. Oh, where in the world? What?
I think I know what it is.
What?
At least okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, perfect. All right. So it came out on April 26th of 2005. It's Discover America and the album is called Psychology. But Discover America, and this might be more notable or more important for fans and listeners. Discover America was one of the projects that Chris Staples does. And Chris
Mhm.
Staples was obviously the frontman and the songwriter for 238.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
so that's something to be noted. But this was his like I don't know if it was his. I would have to look back on his history. I don't know if this was his first solo thing.
It was.
But now
as
clearly
I
his
know.
solo thing has become huge. So
Mhm.
I feel like that's notable, and maybe we can talk about that. But yeah, Discover America, Psychology. What do we think about this album?
I can go first. I really love the mashup of different sounds and genres and
Yeah.
Same.
even like
Same.
eras of music. Like he's not messing around with the musicality of this album. There's even a couple songs, I don't remember the name of the song in particular, but there's some like straight up Beatles riffs that are total rip-offs, and I love that in there. However, I have to say, lead singer for Green Day, is it Billy Joe or Billie Jean Armstrong?
Billy Joe.
Billy Joe Armstrong. I think
Billie Jean is a
Staples-
Michael Jackson song.
Yeah, that's why I thought I was getting it
Is he
conflated.
not your girl or
Um,
what?
I think Staples sounds like Billy Joe Armstrong with a cold, and it drives.
I have
it
a
drives
very
me-
different take.
It drives me up a fucking wall. I can't stand it. I cannot stand his voice.
I love a good hot take from Cullen.
Wow.
This is great. This is great. I love this.
And I have such a different take on his voice. Keep going.
Okay, I don't have much else to say. I'm so annoyed by his voice. I love the music, but the voice just takes me out of it completely. It's like it's like if you were I don't know if I can use this analogy without
Oh gosh.
potentially losing my job, so I'm not going to say it. Go ahead, Meg.
Okay. So I did not hear this album in 2005 when it came out. I knew who 238 was. I did not know that it was the same dude until like a decade later. But in 2008, I had a friend in college. Me and my like small friend group, we were always making each other mix CDs, just constantly. And so my friend Luke made me a mix CD. He was like a little brother to me. He liked another girl in my wing named Kate, and he made me a mix CD with the song Green Eyes on it. And he said, "This is how I feel about Kate." It was very cute. And so he put Call It in the Air and Green Eyes on it. And those are the only two songs I knew. And I loved them. I just loved them. Those two songs, I realized after my re-listen this week, sound so different than so much of the rest of the album. And I like that. I do appreciate that. Those two songs are very like indie, like electronic, almost, I don't know if you know the like electronic hip hop guy, Astronautilus, but they remind me of him a little bit. But some of the songs on this album and his voice, I was trying to figure out who he reminded me of, and I couldn't figure it out until driving to work yesterday. He reminds me of Tim Kasher from Cursive or The Good Life so much in a few songs. And Cullen, the craziest thing is that you bring up Billy Joe. Part of why I am what was it? You notoriously don't like Weezer, right?
Yeah.
I notoriously don't like Green Day.
I don't like Green Day either. That's crazy.
Okay. So I am kind of surprised that you say that. I hope that you saying that doesn't ruin Discover America for me, because I really do like this album, and I did not get Billy Joe. I got Tim Kasher, who I love. I love Cursive. I've seen them multiple times in the last year. And so listening to the whole album, I was kind of like, why did I not listen to this whole album when I already knew I liked these two songs less than 2 years after the album came out? I was one of those people for this album where I was like, I like these two songs, cool, and then just forgot about this band at all and didn't know they existed. But I don't know if Cullen, if you said what you gave the album. Did you say what number you gave it?
I don't know if I did. I gave it a 12.
Okay, I gave it a 7.
Whoa.
So right before Starflyer, because I do like his weird voice. I do like how it taps into the indie stuff I like, the almost like second wave emo yelly stuff I like from Cursive. I don't know. I want to listen to this album again. I thought it was great.
So for me, this album, I remember when it came out, because I remember looking it up on Pure Volume and just being like, this is just not for me. And again, I think part of that is, again, I'm just trying to give historical context here. When 238 fans, by the time that they're listening in 2005, the people who were 238 fans, let's say in 2005, they're in college. I was not in college in 2005. So I think there was just like who he was trying to write for at that time was probably just not me as a 11-year-old, 10-year-old. And so I feel like there's like that disconnect. I feel like that way about like Starflyer too, right? Like, and I'm not trying to, it's a generational thing. This is what it is. So I remember like when this came out, I do remember literally trying to like click play on the Pure Volume site for Discover America and just like, this is just not me. Like, it doesn't really catch my ear. So I will say there was that when it hit me back in 2005. I think for me, like what's hard when I listen to this album now, like I enjoy it. What's hard for me is I almost feel like I enjoy it more, partly because I know what Chris Staples has become. So that context has like really kind of, I feel like, warped my opinion about this album. So that's interesting.
Can I make an analogy there?
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you heard Nirvana's Bleach record.
Yeah,
And
no,
then-
we're like
and
you're
then
like
later
back
on-
then you were like, not into it, but like now
Yeah.
you know about Nirvana and you're like, oh my god, this
Yeah.
is like revolutionary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right there, where it's like, and obviously it's not to that degree of Nirvana,
Exactly.
but it is something where it's like I feel like it. When I listen to it, I'm like, God, I really like this, but I'm like, is this because I really think Chris Staples has grown a lot as a songwriter, and I really like his stuff now as a songwriter? So there's that. So I think I'm the last person to talk about this album. One thing I'm really curious about to hear from your thoughts. And by the way, Cullen, I have it at 9. So if you want to do the math thing,
Yeah.
I'm curious for you all. So Cullen has been very open and honest in this podcast throughout our years of doing this. He does not like when solo projects just adopt the name. From my understanding, I could be wrong.
Adopt
from
the
my
artist name.
understanding,
Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
just like you adopt, like, if I were to do a solo project, I would do it as, Mason Menega.
Yeah, I hate that.
Cullen's not into that, right? From my understanding, and I could be wrong, Chris Staples, outside of 238, in terms of a solo project, which this is his only solo project that is outside of his name.
Yeah.
And I'm curious for you, Cullen, how that makes a difference for you. Is the fact that, like, the name of it is not Chris Staples. And obviously once he started releasing as Chris Staples, it eventually grew for him, which, like, props to him for that. But I'm curious for you, like, how does it being named or branded under Discover America shape your opinion of it?
It makes me want to listen to it more.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you're clearly the hipster of the group.
I don't think it's hipster. I just
Is
think
he?
I just think that I
Probably.
don't appreciate. I don't know if it's like a narcissism or what it is about.
Yeah, probably.
like, using your own name, but it's just not original. It's not. There's nothing creative in that.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm with Cullen on this one.
Yeah. So we're the.
I mean, it's true. But I just find it interesting. I think it's his only, I could be wrong, but I think it's his only solo thing that at least has been released that is under a different name.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, it's probably his least popular thing among 238 and under his own name. It's probably his least popular thing. So I think that is an interesting thing to note, is the thing that Cullen likes the most about solo projects is the thing, at least for Chris Staples, that has been his least successful project.
Yeah. I think that there's something that goes with that though too, and that's that Tooth and Nail putting out 13 albums in 2005 is insane. This is not a big record label. Putting out 13 albums from a record label this size means that at least half of these are not going to get any type of push whatsoever from the,
You think one a
the
month is
label
too
itself.
much?
From a record
On
label
average?
from a record label the size of Tooth and Nail, I think yes, 100%.
At this time too,
They
like
just- they just
2005, this
don't-
is before they got bought out by EMI or whatever it was.
by EMI. It's just that they don't have the resources to be able to push all of these albums.
That's fair.
Especially
That's fair.
back then, because back then it was like print media, it was bookstores, like everything was physical, so everything cost more in order to try to push or promote an album. And so I think a lot of these just flew under the radar because like they kind of had to pick their winners and losers.
That's fair. All right, so what's our average score on this one?
That was a 9.3. It's probably going to put it in what is it, C or D? Probably.
Yeah, it's probably
C.
what was our
Probably
Bleach
C.
score?
Bleach was at 10.33.
Mine was- And that was a
That was a
C?
C, I believe. No, that was C.
and this. Okay.
This would probably be a C.
So I gave it a 7. Cullen, you gave it a
12.
12, and Mason.
Give it a
9.
9. Yep.
Okay.
There we go. Okay.
All right.
I for whatever reason I keep counting. I only have 12 scores, but I have 13 albums. So hopefully math checks out. All right. So here is where Discover America ranks. We're going to currently put it at C. We'll see where it ends up actually landing. But currently, this is our ranking. So we've got a few more albums to go. Boom. All right. So next one. Waking Ashland's Composure, which, let me check really quick, but I believe came out on May 10th of 2005. So May 10th of 2005, Waking Ashland's Composure. How did it hit back then? Where is it at now? Where are we at?
I'll go then. I did not listen to this album back in 2005, and I did not listen to this album until beginning of this year.
Really?
Yeah. We had Waking Ashland on the podcast, and it was fantastic. One of my favorite shows we've ever done.
Oh, such a great episode.
The dude is amazing. I would argue 100% that Waking Ashland just fell victim to getting lost in the shuffle. A band that should have been bigger. I think that they are not like a copycat of Reliant K, but they have a lot of like Reliant K kind of vibes. You know, a great tenor voice, poppy riffs, sort of a poppy song structure, great songwriting all around. It's all killer, no filler on that entire album. Composure is a great record. I wish I had more to say about it, but I don't have much else. I do really, really like it, and it's growing on me, throughout this entire year. I have it at number 4.
Number 4, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So the retrospective is pretty powerful with that one.
Yeah. Cool. Mason, are you good if I go next?
Sure. Let's hear it.
Just jump in.
So this was a hard one for my ranking. I can share it later, but there was 4 different albums that I was really having a hard time with where I ranked them. So I might call an audible on this one. I'm not quite sure. But Cullen, I have a little bit of a bone to pick with you about your comparison with them to Reliant K. When you say that, do you mean later Reliant K when they became way more piano rock? Because Waking Ashland is not pop punk at all.
Definitely not. No, I'm not talking about early Reliant K at all. I'm talking about like Forget Not Slow Down kind of era.
That makes way more sense. Okay. Because Forget Not Slow Down came out, I believe, in 2008 or 9. And this album was 2005. I agree with you that on my second listen, as in within this past week, I was like, wow, I do wish I spent more time with this album when I first heard it. I heard the song like everyone else and their mother, including my mother. The song "I Am For You," such a perfect song. It's just a perfect song. It felt a bit like, Christian something corporate. I got excited. I listened through the album, and I don't know if I was just expecting a bunch of more super catchy, pop rock songs just like that one. But I don't know. Again, I think I might have just been way too much into Screamo at the time that I liked that one song and didn't give the album enough time, but I wish that I did. Listening through this album again, I was like, I think I missed out. I think that I should have given it more time. I liked it way more than I remember. I don't know. I agree with you, Cullen. I think they're underrated. I think they were a little maybe too much before their time. That maybe if this album came out around the same time as Forget Not Slow Down, they might have gotten more traction. But this is a great album. It's not, how do I explain this? It's not my favorite genre, but of the piano rock, pop rock, almost pop punk adjacent genre, they do it well.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
That's a great take on that. I really like this album. It was an album when it came out, I especially those 2 singles, Hands on Deck and obviously I Am For You. I love I Am For You. That was also one of those first songs that I ever tried to learn on guitar. And I still remember Hands on Deck because it's such a almost like a ballad type of song. Like I remember like listening to that album or listening to that song like during like, you know, at this time of my life when I was like having crushes for the first time. And I remember like thinking like about like, oh, I'm going to sing this song to my first crush or whatever. So shout out to you, Brittany Anderson, if you're listening.
My
So
God.
anyway, I remember like just like having this like visceral experience of just like how like emotional and like ballady this was at that time. And so I loved this album then. I will say, so to me, like the retrospective of it, like listening to it now, what's interesting for me is, and I think we were already kind of talking about this a little bit with May, but with especially with Waking Ashland, there's something about that piano rock vibe where when I listen to it, I think, wow, this is dated. Like this is so 2005. And yet,
True.
and this is where I think like it, like, I'm like, oh, in my mind, I'm like, yes, this is so 2005. Like it feels dated in that way. And yet I also am like I'm like, wait, this should come back. Like this sound should be a thing that we hear again. When you listen to like, let's say, for example, like the best version of 80s music, like, you know, a lot of the like new wave stuff that came out recently, like you hear a lot of new wave stuff coming from the 80s. It's like, oh, of course that should have like come back at some point. Like that makes sense.
Yep.
And so I think about that with like this piano rock stuff from Waking Ashland, where I'm like, yes, it sounds very 2005, and yet I think it should come back. So I don't, in terms of the retrospective, it's kind of this thing where it's like, wow, it sounds dated, and yet I think it should come back at some point. So I don't know how that really factors into it, but with the fact that it was like an album where I liked it when it first came out, and the fact that I'm like kind of in this like in between, like I don't really know how I think about it now, I've got a number 6, which I think puts it solidly in the middle for me. So number 6 for me.
Meg, what was your ranking?
Yeah, like I said, I'm having a hard time with this. Originally, I put it at 10, but I'm actually calling an audible and switching it with another album, and I'm putting it at 9.
Okay.
Oh, okay. What's the average score now, Cullen?
Average score is 6.33.
Where does that rank?
We haven't had anything in that ballpark, really.
Is that lower than Discover America and
I think that's a B, judging by what we have it at right here.
Oh, okay. All right. So here we are at a B so far, right? But
Okay.
above or below Starflyer?
Starflyer's at a 5.66.
Okay, so a little below then. Okay. All right, good to know. All right, we'll keep it there for now. We'll see what happens. So, all right, the next one.
Ooh.
I have a lot of things to say about this one, and I'll try to keep my mouth shut as much as possible.
Maybe you should just
the next original album was at the very end of June 28th, 2005. Terminals, How the Lonely Keep.
Jesus. I knew this
Thoughts
was gonna be
on
it.
this one?
Okay.
Go.
Do you want to go
Meg.
first?
Go ahead,
Okay.
Meg.
This album pisses me off, and for one reason only. That no one told me to listen to it earlier. That is the reason it makes me angry. Because
If you would have been listening to this
like...
podcast, Mason would have told you 1,000 times.
I'm an evangelist.
Mason!
I'm an evangelist.
I feel it's so difficult because do they only have this one album?
It's the one.
Is it
one
just
and
this
only?
album?
Okay.
One and only.
I'm like, where the hell was I? I was listening to stuff that sounded exactly like this, and I saw their name, and I was like, huh. Moving on, I am so frustrated that I did not hear this earlier because it is exactly like the stuff I was listening to. And so as I was listening to it this week for the first time ever, like embarrassingly so, I am just shocked at how good it is. Like, okay, so I have some takes as well. Mason, I'm sure you have a lot to say as well. I loved Emery and Further Seems Forever and like other Christian emo stuff at the time, but somehow this album missed me. Some of the album reminds me of early Further Seems Forever in certain songs. The Wishing, Waiting, something, whatever that song is called. And City by the Sea. Like, honestly, he even sings like... his voice, I don't know this guy's name, but his voice reminds
Travis
me...
Bryant.
If you take Chris Caraba's voice in Further Seems Forever, the first record, and Aaron Gillespie's voice, and you mash them together, that is what this guy sounds like, and I love it. I love that you're nodding so heavily, Mason. This is so validating. I don't know. My only bone to pick with it is I wish there was more screams. Like when they give the screams, I'm like, oh, this is everything I want. And there's a song, Sunday Parking Lot, has gang vocals, which I am such a sucker for. Oh, it's so good. I am so mad that I did not hear this album until this week. It's so good.
Wait, till this week?
Dude, yes.
Meg.
Yes.
Oh,
I hate myself. I'm sorry.
I failed as a friend. I failed as a friend. Okay, here's my confession right here, right now. I have failed as a friend if you have not heard this album up until this week. No, oh my God, this blows my mind.
I didn't know. I knew who they were. I had no idea what they sounded like, and I loved it.
Where do you rank this at?
I put it as a 6, and that's mostly because the albums before it were either nostalgic for me or like very S tier, but it's a solid 6, and it was the first time I heard it was this week. That should say how good it is.
Sure. I'll bring the party down. I put this at.
Oh, great.
I find this album oppressively boring, and I should like. It's one of those albums that on paper I should totally like, right? Like we talk about this conundrum, Mason, all the time on the podcast, but I just don't get it. I think everyone in the band is talented. I think the songs are fine. There's just a million other records I'd rather listen to. I think that almost every song is basically the exact same tempo. Like I swear to God, it doesn't change more than like 10 beats per minute. The entire record.
Have you listened to emo before?
I love emo, but I'm not a fan of like softy emo. If that makes sense?
Okay. Right.
And I kind of would lump that.
They have gang vocals, dude.
I get it.
I was about to say, I don't know if this is softy emo. Softy emo is like Sunny Day Real Estate.
Are we?
No.
Are we listening to the
Sunny
same
Day
album?
Real Estate is not soft emo. How is that soft emo?
They're so slow and boring.
But still, like
Sunny Day Real Estate.
There's like.
Are you listening to the
heavy?
Same band?
There's heavy.
Okay, Mason told me to disagree when I disagree, so I'm disagreeing.
Yeah,
disagree,
no,
please
that's fine,
disagree.
I don't know. I'm also not like a Dashboard Confessional fan. I'm not a Secondhand Serenade fan. I'm not like a fan of that version of emo, I guess. And I think that this really does kind of fall into that same kind of category, at least for me personally. And you can say no. I've tried giving this album so many chances. Like, since 2005, I've probably picked up this record and played it trying to like it. Because, like, I'm a big believer in, like, there's something good in everything. The one thing I can say that's really great about this record is the soft parts are amazing. Like, when he sings delicately and they play delicately, it's amazing.
It's so funny because, like, literally, she's
I know,
like the heavy parts.
The heavy parts are so lame to me. The heavy
I'm
parts
the
of this
opposite
record,
of Cullen.
The heavy parts of this record are so fucking lame to me. I just can't handle it.
Oh, that's crazy. I feel like I have such a severe cringe factor, but I liked this album on the first listen, which is so rare for me. I don't know.
I will say this though. Genuinely cool people in this band.
Okay.
And Travis is incredible. Great guy.
Yeah. It pains me to say that I don't like this record. I'm sorry.
Well, and most of them ended up forming No Sleeper, by the way, too. So
yes.
What?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah, 3 of the 5 guys ended up forming No Sleeper.
Yeah, which is another reason why.
Yeah, they're all from the same area in Texas. Yeah.
I loved / love O Sleeper. I saw O Sleeper with Emery with my mom in 2018. My mom was like 67 at the time.
They just announced they're coming out with a new album, by the way.
I did see that. I did see that.
Thank you.
Shout out O Sleeper.
All right.
Hopefully we can get him on the podcast.
All right.
This album. Okay, so I feel like my ranking is not indicative of how I feel about this album, and maybe it's because I just ranked it poorly. I absolutely love this album. I loved it then. I still remember listening to like the Pure Volume like songs that they had on obviously on Pure Volume at that time, listening to them over and over and over. Loved it then. Then was illegally downloaded the album on LimeWire, put it on my little iPod Nano, like the those little clip-on ones. Illegally downloaded on that. Listen to it in 8th grade. I still remember going to 8th grade science class with Mr. Struey and just listening to that album while I was doing my work, and I just was like, this is so good. And I've still to this day, I think it's one of the better pop punk albums, emo albums I've ever heard in my life. I think it's severely underrated in that world.
Yeah, I
like
gave a
pop
face
punk,
at that.
like emo, whatever you want to call it.
Mason, have you heard this album?
It's a straight up emo album.
Whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to
call it. It's like a third wave. It's definitively a third wave emo album, and I will die on that hill.
Well, all right,
100%.
great. All right. I have no feelings about that. Let's go third wave emo. So third wave emo.
Pop punk.
It is definitively one of the best I've ever heard. And like Meg has just discovered, unlike Cullen's clearly uncultured ears.
I've tried.
It is truly unbelievable. It really is truly unbelievable. So I will stand to this day. It is one of the best albums I've ever heard. Top 50 albums of all time for me. It is so good. It was good then. It's good now. And yet, because of this year of Tooth and Nail, I believe I have it at number 4. It is such a good album, though.
I love
it's such a good album, though. I can't stress
number 4
it's such a good album.
Number 4 is high. I think what did I give it, a 6, 7, 6? Yeah, 6.
You gave it a 6.
And then you gave it a 10, good. Cullen, right?
It's so good.
Yes. That means.
So what does that bring us to? Also, I'm not sure I trust Cullen with the math.
It gets the double score of 6.66.
Hell yeah. Okay, so that's probably C tier, right?
Slightly lower than Waking Ashland.
Okay.
Slightly. Okay.
Oh, that makes me reconsider my Audible, because I like this album so much more than the Waking Ashland.
Do we put it in C tier, or do we put it in B tier, lower than Waking Ashland?
It would be just lower than Waking Ashland in B tier.
So right here,
according to the score right now, but we can argue
right
at the end if we want to.
That hurts my heart, but I understand.
It is such a good album that doesn't deserve that. Fuck you, Cullen. I knew that was going to happen. Was going to happen. He's an asshole. Meg, just learn. Cullen's an asshole. He has bad music taste. That's why I like him.
Cullen seems like actually one of the most genuine people I've ever met, to be fair. I just think he is wrong. He's wrong in this take.
He's so wrong about this.
I'll accept that.
I've been arguing with him about this for a long time.
And the fact that he said that like this album is like boring or whatever, but then we're talking about Sunny Day Real Estate and he says that that's not boring. I'm just like, I know they're important, and the way that you feel about this Termin album is the way I feel about Sunny Day Real Estate, where I listen to them all, like I try to get into it, like I know it's important, like they have a couple bangers, but I just can't do it.
Sunny Day Real Estate's heavy parts are actually heavy. I think that's what does it for me. I think it's just the payoff, you know. I think that's what. I think that's why. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I get what you mean. National.
I get what you mean. Yeah.
Oh, Old National though. Don't even get me started. If you bring up the National, we'll be here all night.
No, the National is best when they go heavy. When they go heavy and
fast,
when the National is
fast.
Fuck summer, I miss November.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Mason has the right take. Mason has the correct take.
That's my take about the National.
All right.
All right.
What's next?
The next one. I feel like this one might be the most divided one. I'm really curious about this one though. All right, so the next one, very similar to Terminals, How the Lonely Keep. This one is Number One Guns, Promises for the Imperfect. July 19th of 2005. So yeah, mid-July. Promises for the Imperfect. Number
Start
one
us off
gun.
on this one. Start us off on this one, Mason.
I love this album. Not nearly as much as Terminal's album. So here's what I'll say. This album feels very top heavy for me. The few songs that are really good on this album are incredible on this album. The rest of them, meh. They're just meh. They're just meh. A lot of filler. But the top ones, unbelievable. I will still listen. I will actively go on YouTube Music because this album is not on Spotify. I will actively go on YouTube Music just so I can.
Are you on my YouTube Music account?
Well, I have Spotify and I'm a shitty person. And
but are you on my YouTube Music account? I just don't know.
Well, I'm on your YouTube thing, so I would imagine I'm on your YouTube Music thing.
YouTube thing.
Yeah.
Whatever that, like you've added me as a family member on your YouTube account.
I couldn't remember if you
so
were
I would
on
imagine.
or not. Yeah.
So adorable.
So
you're welcome for not making you sit through 3,000 ads a day.
I'm gonna edit that part out.
No, leave it on. That's great.
It's good content.
So I do think this album, though, the top heavy part of it, like the top singles, unbelievable. Some of the best I've ever heard especially in that like era of Tooth and Nail. But my goodness, like the rest of it is like for me like very like this is like meh. Not that it's bad, it's just like meh. So it's one of those albums where it feels just so top heavy. So I have it at number 5 for me. So just below Terminal for me. But I do really like this album for the like 3 or 4 songs I really love from it.
So you're saying like basically an EP worth of songs is what drives it that.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those albums for me where it's just like and me if I can just add, I do think they get better moving forward. Number One Gun does get better moving forward.
Way better.
And I like it is one of those bands that like I know like things kind of imploded and it was whatever, but they were a band that like got better moving forward. But my goodness, like even like the album before this, which I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think was on Floodgate Records. The album before they were actually on Tooth and Nail was really good as well. But this album, those first like I think it might be like the first like 3 or 4 songs, huge fan. So.
Was it Aaron Rodgers that wore a Number One Gun shirt?
That's my like we could look it up as Meg or you talk, but I believe it was.
Yeah. Anyone that Aaron Rodgers listens to, I don't like. But when I was young, I really liked this album a lot.
Okay.
Loved it. Listened to it all the time. Especially like just like what Mason said, the first half of the album was amazing. Second half of the album was okay at best. Some cool parts, but nothing crazy. Great songwriting. Tell me what you guys think. Do you feel like do you know what the lead singer's name is?
No.
Jeff something. It's Jeff whatever his last name is.
His name is Jeff. Jeff is, I almost feel like putting on a voice here.
Ooh, I think
like
I
almost
agree.
like he's, because like the later or the more recent Number One Gun albums, it's not nearly this pronounced. But on this record in particular, and the one before, it's a very pronounced like whiny, trying to sound emo kind of voice, and it really going back to listen to this album, it was very off-putting to me.
Oh.
And when I was young, I just don't think I realized that, but now I'm like, that feels so manufactured and so fake, and it makes me really dislike it. I don't really have much else to say. I put it at 11 now.
Oh, that's what I put it as.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have a lot to say about this as well. Number One Gun is an album I have known since I was in my early teenage years. I think I got baited into being told that they were a pop punk band and then listened to them and realized quickly they are absolutely not a pop punk band. So maybe I heard them too early. Maybe if I heard them when I got into more emo stuff, I would have liked them. Listening to this record this week, I liked it, I think, more than I expected. It sounded different than I expected. In my notes, I I wrote not as good as Terminal emo, but still good.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's what I have written down. Yeah. So the first song I will say is the best on the album. That's 100%. My opinion. Mason, you already said it. It's top heavy. There's a few tracks that are fantastic, and then the rest are kind of forgettable. Who You Are is good. So the first song, I forget what it's called, but whatever that one is called. Who You Are. Your Time Is Now. That's a song that's a little more poppy than I usually like, but I think it's such a solid, catchy song that I enjoy it. And I like the synths on the song All You Have. I don't have many notes besides that. I don't know. I want to revisit it. Maybe I'll like it more. Maybe I'll have the same take, but it was good. It was fine. It didn't blow me away. I put it at 11.
Good call. All right, so that puts us at a 9, which is slightly better than Discover America.
Okay.
9. Really? Damn.
Did you think it would be higher or lower, Mason?
I kind of thought it would be a little higher. All right, so like, is it higher than Bleach?
Album. That's the wrong album. It's Project 86.
You're right. You're right.
Oh.
Higher than Bleach?
It's just higher than Discover America.
Oh, right. So right here.
Okay. Interesting.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I mean, I'm not gonna like hate that. It's not my like. It is what it is.
Sure.
Okay.
It's good to know. Okay. All right. The next one.
Oh God.
Love this so much.
It's Joy Electric, isn't it?
Oh.
Nope.
The same day that Promises for the Imperfected came out with Number One Gun, or from Number One Gun. The same day, 1,000 Foot Crutch released The Art of Breaking.
I have so many words for this.
1,000 Foot Crutch.
I think Mason should go first, just because.
Okay.
All I can think of is little Mason throwing up his little rock fist and all that fun stuff. So.
Yeah, well, that wasn't this album though. That's
no, I know.
I was about to say that wasn't this album.
No, I know, but like Mason would just be like, "Grenade." That's such a great song name. That's basically my life.
All right, so I'm fine with going first. So, 1,000 Foot Crutch, The Art of Breaking. This came out pretty much right around the time that I fell in love with 1,000 Foot Crutch. They, for a hot moment, for a year, they were my top favorite band. Maybe like right around the time that this came out, that has probably leaned into like I liked other things. But it was right around this time where I just loved anything 1,000 Foot Crutch, because Phenomena was my favorite album at that time.
That's great.
Without a doubt. And I remember going to one of their shows at a festival that Cullen and I typically went to in South Dakota, and they were playing, and just like losing my mind. And yeah, like I think Move came out and on this album. Move was I wouldn't be surprised if that was like on like Sports Center or something. It was popular, right? And yeah, that like version of 1,000 Foot Crutch, super into, but it kind of ended really quickly. So like I'm trying to like think about it in like 2005 for me. Like I liked one song from this album, like 1,000 Foot Crutch for a hot second, and then immediately moved off of that to like Me Without You, Under Oath, everything else that was coming out, and like Tooth and Nail Solid State at that time.
I love how you and I have like the same trajectory. For you, it was 1,000 Foot Crutch, and for me, it was Skillet.
Yeah, so like it truly was. So I'm like, I moved off of it really quickly, but like it was the hottest thing for me at one point. So I will say at the time that it came out, I do remember Move being a big deal for me, but that was it. Like truly, I'll be honest, that was it. I liked Move. Everything else at that time, wasn't my thing. And so because of that, and then obviously listening to it back now, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I've got it at number 10.
Okay. Cullen, can I go next?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Mason, I appreciate your takes. Interestingly enough, I have the most notes written for this album.
What?
And I have ranked it the lowest. It is number 13.
The most notes. How do you have the most notes?
Because I had a lot of opinions.
Damn.
I am going to actually read some of these. So my family owned this album. My mom and my brother both really loved Thousand Foot Crutch, and I did as well. This album did not hit me. I got baited by Thousand Foot Crutch in like 2001 when I first heard them and heard the song When in Doubt, because I was like, oh, sick, another Christian pop punk band like Relient K or MXPX. And I put it on I was in 8th grade. I put When in Doubt on the first mix CD I ever made. I was like, oh, this is amazing. I was so excited. We got the album and I was like, what the hell? What is this? There's like rap rock. This is not what I signed up for. And yeah, I think I've held a mild resentment for them ever since that.
That's amazing.
And I don't know. It's like, okay, it's like if you are pouring out a drink, like you go to drink a glass of orange juice and then you drink it and you find out it's milk instead. It's like, this is not what I expected.
What a perfect analogy.
Thank you so much. It's just like, okay, like if I would have known that they were trying to do rap rock or new metal, I might have been more into it, but I got baited into thinking they were going to be pop punk, and I was like, no. Because it's not like I didn't like the rock rap stuff. Like I loved Pax 17 and Pillar and all that stuff in that era when I was like in 8th grade or whatever. But yeah, I heard this album in 2005 and gave them a chance to change my opinion on them, and they did not help my opinion at all. Like, this album just did not do it. I think it was too new metal for me, and like not in a good way. I think, again, I've mentioned this before, but by 2005 I was getting more into screamo and emo and metalcore and indie and stuff, and I still love pop punk, so this genre was not my thing at the time. And then I was like, okay, I have a special place in my heart for new metal. I still love Linkin Park. Like, okay, let's try this. So I listened to the whole thing again, and it was not good. It was just, I don't know. I get that some of the songs are catchy and why they were huge, especially for angsty teenagers, but this is not something I would listen to now, even if I wanted to listen to new metal. I would just put on Linkin Park instead.
Fair.
So yeah, I don't know. It's not for me. Some of their songs sound like they're trying to be Incubus or Chevelle, but not as good. And that's my take, and it's my number 13.
That's fair.
I feel that big time. For me, Art of Breaking is like Thousand Foot Crutch and still like a semi-credible era. They are obviously dad rock. I mean, like it was dad rock then, it's dad rock now.
True.
Like this is the kind of thing that like the Promise
Dad
Keepers,
rock approved then. Definitely dad rock.
Yeah, like the Promise Keepers guys at my local church definitely got down to some Thousand Foot Crutch, and they got their emotions out a little bit. And you know what? I think that music serves a purpose in this world because, you know, men's health, mental health at least. It's Movember, guys.
Mental health.
So going back to listen to this album. So back then I was a casual listener of Thousand Foot Crutch. A song or here or there was fine. I wasn't like super into it, but it was okay. Going back to listen to it now, I forgot about the vocal talent of Trevor McNevin, or Nevin, however you say it.
Talent?
Like it's actually impressive. Like he hit some pretty impressive notes that surprised me.
He's not a bad rapper. Like, I'm not saying he's a great rapper, but he's not a bad.
I'm not saying that either. I just didn't like the album.
I'm not talking about his rapping parts. I'm talking about his actual singing parts. Like his...
Okay.
Yeah, but if you combine that, like his decent singing, like good singing, and then like not bad rapping, like it's good. That's
flow.
a thing.
It's good flow. It's bad rhyme scheme. That's what I would say, especially to the English teacher over here. It's
Agreed.
very surface level-y, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I would just say I don't absolutely hate this, but I don't love it in any sense of the word. It's just pretty forgettable, in my opinion. I do think I had one or two of these songs on like a lifting playlist back in middle school.
That checks out.
So, yeah,
That's fair.
And that's the only place it should really go. It should be in your dad's minivan, and it should be in the weight room. Yeah. Did you just do this?
No.
Are you
Did
sure you
Mason
didn't
do that?
I thought
No,
you did
I
that.
think I don't know if does that mean something?
Yeah, it's like a total. What do they call it? I don't know. My students do that all the time. Still, they go.
Oh, is that like a mew? Oh, that's Mew.
Yeah,
Yeah. My
mewing.
students
Yeah,
told me.
that's it.
Yeah. I did not.
Yeah.
I just went like this. I just was itching my chin.
Gotcha. You're very grainy on our side of the video, so I thought you went like this,
Oh,
and I was
no.
like, oh, that's perfect.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's basically like it's like mewing. That's what TFK is.
No.
All right, that gets a 10.66 on our.
So where
Richter
do
scale.
we put that on here?
That would be
A D.
lower than Bleach. That is D.
A D.
Yeah, we're
For
putting
sure.
That
You're
is
a
where I
D,
ranked it
okay.
originally.
We're
Yeah.
putting that D. Yeah,
Oh, why is
We
this?
got
not
4
have X here?
left.
we're almost there, guys.
We're getting there. Okay.
Yep. Oh my
The
gosh.
next one though, this will change our. I feel like this will change our attitudes. The next one came out in. I'm looking here really quickly. Not that much later than TFK's album. In August of the 2nd of 2005, Emery's "The Question." I would like to not go first on this one because I have things to say about this. I'm sure you have things to say about this, Meg, and I'm sure you have
Yeah.
things to say about this, Cullen. I have a pretty good sense of where this is going, so we'll see.
Yeah, you do?
Meg, go ahead.
I have no notes on this album.
Because
It is my number one. I don't need them. I remember where I was when I first heard this album. I remember how I felt. I just, it's one of those memories that is seared into my high school brain. So, Mason, cut me off if I'm sharing too much, okay? Because I don't got notes. So, I was I believe a junior in high school. It's 2005. You said August, right?
Yep,
August 2005?
Yeah, I think I was a 4th grader still.
Oh,
Oh,
fantastic.
almost about to be a 5th grader. Almost to be about a
Yeah.
5th grader. So I was just.
Cool. So my boyfriend broke up with me a few months earlier.
I think
and
my
then
girlfriend of 5th grade just broke up with me.
She
Adorable.
Okay, never mind.
So, okay. So when I was a junior in high school, we had not quite started my senior year yet. I was in a kids band at my local church, and we
Kids
were
band?
on
Hold
tour.
up.
I'm
Us more about
I'm not kidding.
Tell us more about the kids band. What is the kids band? Because this sounds amazing.
Kid
I-
band just playing
I-
Big House the entire time.
Real big
We
fish?
did. Mason, we played Big House.
Yeah.
We
Of course
played
you
that
did.
in our
Of
set
course
list.
you did. Of course
So-
you did.
I played keys, I played piano, and I sang in this kids band. We were called the G-Force Band. No, it did not stand for God Force. Okay, Cullen is dying. All right, okay.
I
All
love
right.
it. I love it.
G-Force.
G-Force.
The G-Force Band stood for I can't even.
Was the high school band the
Generation
G-Spot band?
Are you allowed to say that on this podcast?
Of course we are.
don't
It's
say
our
what I want.
podcast. It's our podcast.
Okay. Stood for Generation for Christ in Excellence. I don't know why
Of
they
course,
decided
that's
that
so
was
obvious to all of us.
of
That was
course,
so obvious.
obviously.
Yeah, of course.
So this was our second or third tour going to Southern California. Okay, all right. Why am I sharing this?
Because it's awesome.
This
Tour.
has to do with Emery. Okay?
Tour.
This has to. We
You're
were
on
like not
tour.
bad. We were not bad for a children's church band, okay? We got hired. It was a bunch of high school students. We played in this kids band, and we got hired to go on tour to play at a summer VBS in Southern California. Cullen, I like you, but you're making an enemy.
I'm just trying to like so G-force.
Yes, that's what we're called. You're gonna have to call
I
all
just
of
like
this out.
know myself well enough to know like that's not what I'm about to say. I'm about to say something other than G-force.
I know.
Okay, go
Okay.
ahead.
I was an innocent 16-year-old. Please give me a break.
Of course,
I think I was
you
16.
have nothing to do with this. I'm trying to own my own shit.
So it was the summer still. We had not started school. We were going down to Southern California. We were there for the whole week. We got hired by this church for the tour. It wasn't actually a tour. It was just one church, one mega church in Southern California that wanted a fancy pants kids band.
Yeah.
It was a gig for their VBS for the end of the summer. Okay. So we go down to LA County-ish area, right? And we have our nights free. So it's a bunch of high school kids with our chaperones. One of the chaperones was my mother. We go to, I don't remember if it was Virgin Records or some kind of, what were the big record store? Capitol Records, some record shop. We go to, and by records,
Definitely
I mean
Virgin
CDs
Records.
at this time, because it's 2005. So we're down in Southern California, and we all get free to go. That night, it was either the day that the question was released or the day after or something, but I loved their first record so much. And I bought that album either the day it came out or the day after it came out. And I remember my other friend who was in the G-Force band, her name was Brittany. She bought some Hillary. Okay, Mason can't handle this. Okay, I will not say it again. Okay, she bought like a Hillary Duff album or something, and we were sharing a room because it's a bunch of high school students, and so her and I are in the same room together, and we are laying in bed that night listening to the CDs we bought that day when we had our free time in like LA running around. I bought The Question. She bought some, I don't know, pop. I think it was Hillary Duff. I'm pretty sure. And we're laying there and we're laughing about how different the albums are that we're listening to.
Clearly.
Yeah.
And I loved it then, and I love it now, and I think I know 90% of the words to that album. I think that they perfected like mall screamo or whatever you want to call it. Like between Underoath, They're Only Chasing Safety, and Emery's The Question, as far as Christian pop screamo goes, those albums are perfect, and you cannot top them. And I love them, and I have tickets to go see Emery play through The Question. They're playing this year or next year or something. I have tickets to it already. I love this album. It's my number one.
Love it. That was amazing. Do you have a picture of the G-Force?
I do, unfortunately.
Yes. Can you send that to Mason and I? Because I just have to wrap my head around.
I love a good thumbnail picture.
You will see baby Meg, 15, 16-year-old Meg. It's very bad.
I love that it's a children's band and it's teenagers in it.
Yes.
I mean, if they're like 13, 14, 15, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Okay.
That's so
anyway,
cool. That's amazing.
that's my take.
G-force.
The point is that I remember the day I bought this album and when it came
Meg-
out, and it was so important to me.
Do you know how much more
Nobody's
respect
gonna remember that part. It's the fact that it's called G-force and you're in like a band when you're like 14 years old.
Meg, do
I
you know
think
how
I
much,
was like 15 or 16.
do you know how much more respect I have for you now?
No, but I'll take it. I don't understand it, but I'll take it.
It's just a little bit more, but it was
Just a little bit.
it was awesome that you told us that story. That was so
Okay,
cool.
great. All right, no regrets. Great. All right, next. Anyway, who's next?
All right, go ahead, Mason.
I remember when Studying Politics came out, the music video, Steel Roots, of course, we've talked about that.
1,000 times, yeah.
I mean, it's just, it was so life-changing at that time. And then I still remember, like, as I was listening to the entire album, like I remember, I think it's called the Terrible Secret or whatever, that song, like thinking to myself, like even at that time, like I was 11, 12 years old, 11 years old. I don't remember how old I was. I was so young, but I remember thinking to myself, this is just so well written. Like it's just like the way that like that song is written. And even though it wasn't a single, but I was listening to it and thinking to myself, this is well written. Just the entire album is just so well done. I remember like maybe a month or so ago, I was listening to this entire album when I was on a run and just thinking to myself, yep, this holds up to this day. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And I think it was maybe around that time that like Cullen and I, we saw them on tour playing this entire album. And I just remember thinking to myself, yep, this holds up.
Yeah.
It was incredible then. It's incredible now. And to me, because of that, it was incredible then. And because it's incredible now, it's number one. It has to be number one.
Hell
for me.
yeah.
Yes.
So Emery is the question, number one for me. As much as there's some other albums where I just like, God, they're so good. This album, it holds up then. It holds up now. It's so good. It's one of those albums where if people like Meg, you mentioned like, God, this is like so like 2005 mallcore. It might be that. That's for sure. Like that's true. If you listen to it now, though, it's still like it holds up.
It's so good.
It doesn't
Yes.
like it doesn't just feel like just mallcore. Like it has its own thing. It's incredible. It's an incredible album through and through. I love it. Yeah, it's number one for me.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying whatever mallcore was, whatever screamo was, that album perfected it. So
Yeah.
Yep, it did it.
You guys took every word that I could possibly say out of my mouth already. But I will add this. When I was young, I actually came to this record late.
Like most things.
And I think it was... I think it was because of the name Emery. I did not. So at the time I was like looking for like the heaviest thing I could find or the most emotional thing I could find. Right. And Emery seemed like a girl's name. And I was like, yeah, well, I'm not going to really give that a chance. And then just like Mason, I saw, I think it was
Studying politics, probably.
It was not Studying Politics. It was.
I don't know if they had any other music video though.
They did, but it was not on this album. It was actually on I'm Only a Man.
Oh. Was it Walls? Oh, I'm Only a Man. That was the album after.
Probably I'm Only a Man.
The party song. The party song.
Oh, the party song, yeah.
The party song.
Yeah.
Is I was like, whoa, this is awesome. And then I went back and I listened to the question. So it was probably like 2007.
Yeah, I think
2007, something like that.
I'm Only a Man came out in 2007.
Yeah. So 2007 is when I first heard the question, and I was like, whoa, I missed this. I need to dive in. And I was hooked from the beginning. It was like crack cocaine directly into my veins. Amazing. Loved it. Amazing hooks, memorable lines. They had a knack, and they still do. Like even like their new albums, like they have a knack of like taking what would generally be considered cheesy lines and making them sound not cheesy. Over
1,000,000%.
and over and over and over
yes.
again.
Yep.
That's a talent that is incredible. You can't beat that. So
how much do you think is so what I feel like differentiates Emery from probably any other band in this world, and this might be the thing that like you're saying is like why it's like not cheesy for you. They were able to do the like back and forth kind of almost like choir kind of thing.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, for sure. I think that's
how much do you think that differentiates them? Like, I mean, I do think like sound wise it differentiates them, but how much do you think from like lyrically, like, is it able for them to like, because they would do the back and forth thing so much, how much do you think that like plays a factor into the fact that they could like go back and forth on these whatever lyrics.
Certainly possible. I mean, at the same time, like I've always been a huge Beatles fan, right? And Paul McCartney and John Lennon would trade vocals all the time, and they would harmonize with one another all the time. And so I think like naturally ingrained in me was like this like natural desire to like want to gravitate towards something like that. And in the heavy music world, it's kind of rare. I mean, you see it in some bands.
You don't hear that often.
Yeah, you see it in some bands, but like Emery does it just as good, if not better, than everyone else, right? And that's I think that's part of it for sure. I think the other part is that they were just like, this might be a cheesy line, and I'm going to own it. It's so much authenticity because you think of like a young man or even like an old boy, like writing these lyrics down and believing them 100%. And if they believe it enough, it is perception is reality, right? So, I think that's why it still lands, and that's why it still holds up. Because I mean, to be honest, most of the lyrical content I don't like identify with anymore.
Right.
But I still can like think of, young me identifying with it, and that's enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a couple footnotes to add to this. First of all, Cullen, you explained that so well. Their harmonies are impeccable. Like, they're gorgeous. I mean, they have that on the first record as well. But the second album, it's the back and forth. I mean, Mason, I understand. You went and saw Converge instead of seeing Emery at Furnace Fest. I get it. But I gotta say, they played
Mason did not see Converge. Mason was looking at the porch of an old house.
We don't need to talk about that.
He was...
Okay. I forgot.
His stomach was turning over.
I'm sorry that I brought that up. You're right. I thought that he was a Converge. Never mind. Anyway, all that to say, we can cut that out if we want to.
But the reason we did that, though, by the way, is because we just saw them like a month before play that same song.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had not seen Emery since 2015. Wow. And when I saw them play with As Cities Burn, actually, which was amazing, but that's the last time No, I'm sorry, I lied. 2018, when I saw them open for O Sleeper. But they played a lot of new songs that I didn't really know very well. When they played at Furnace Fest this year, which was like literally a month ago exactly, they played all old songs. I was almost in tears because it was so beautiful, and their harmonies were incredible, and like, I don't know. It was just perfect. It was exactly anything I could have wanted. But I did want to point out a certain song. We've talked about how, Cullen, I think you pointed out how some of the lyrics could have been contrived or cheesy, but they sing it so earnestly and authentically that it's just like, I believe you. I believe that you were in the space and you believe the things that you're saying. There's a song called Listening to Freddie Mercury.
Yes.
And I need to point out that song because in a similar vein that Five Iron Frenzy shaped a lot of my theology and politics, that song, first of all, it's a badass song. It's so good. It's a catchy song. It's interesting enough to keep you interested, but it's like catchy enough to have these different hooks and have it get stuck in your head. I remember listening to the song with my sister and my best friend and other students in our tiny Christian high school, and like the names that he's naming in that song are like different girls like in our small Christian high school. And so we like gravitated towards it. But the whole point of the song being like Christians have different convictions about different things. And we need to stop vilifying each other and just be unified in the thing that is important, and that is about Jesus, and that's it. And if you're going to like be like, you're not a Christian because you listen to the secular band who swears, like, shut up. Who cares? That song impacted me so much, and I just needed to call that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what's interesting is like maybe 10 years later. So this was released in 2005. 10 years later, for sure by that point, Bad Christian became a thing. And like I think about like how the fact that like that song came out in 2005, Bad Christian does their thing whenever that starts coming out, but like certainly by 2015, 10 years later after The Question comes out, it's like, how are you all like still like thinking like Emery's this band that like is gonna be this like hard line. We're gonna like, there's only a certain way of doing this kind of thing. Like in 2005, they were already releasing this song where it was like they were calling out all of you people that were the people that were calling out the Bad Christian Podcast. Like I just like think about that all the time too. Like I don't know, it's a whole thing.
Yeah. One last side note. My best friend, her name is Jess, and she lives in LA, and she's like a famous painter. I texted her and my sister that I was going to be on this podcast, and I was going to get to talk about this album, which was important to us, specifically the song I just discussed. She texted me as we are recording and said to me, listening to Freddie Mercury right now. And hell yeah, I loved the song then and this album, and honestly, it still hits.
Hell yes.
It does.
Case in point.
It does. It does.
Right now,
right,
I got that text 5 minutes ago.
So here we are. It's number 1 for me. Cullen, where was it for you?
Number 2 for me.
Number 2, and then Meg, number 1.
Yep.
Number
this
one.
is a 1.33. This makes it easily
gotta be
tier.
Easily S tier. All right, so let me share my screen.
Amberlin's got to go to A tier.
I'm sorry, Amberlin.
Amberlin could be S tier still, but after Emery.
I don't think so. I think you got to.
It's up to you guys.
There's got to be one.
Okay.
Oh, I like the way this is shaping up right now. I'm liking the way
Mason,
that's
you
up.
you said that you wanted it to look like this. Look at it.
Yeah, I'm seeing. I'm just saying.
The bell curve. Yeah. There it is.
I like that curve.
All right, we got a couple more.
Like my curves. All right, so next one, Joy Electric, The Ministry of Archers, which came out in looking right here, just not that much longer, August of 29 of 2005. So
I'll go first on this one.
Yeah, I don't really have any opinions too much to say about this. So
that's funny.
Great.
So this is Jason Martin's brother, I believe, right?
It is.
I think it's Chris Martin.
Ronnie Martin.
Is Ronnie
Martin.
Ronnie Martin.
Chris Martin's from Coldplay. That's
correct.
Different
family.
I hate this and everything about it.
No.
Oh my gosh! Okay, I did not know this was going to be a controversial take.
I'm dead.
I really did not know this was going to be controversial.
This is going to be the biggest dichotomy here. Okay, go ahead.
I'm so sorry, Meg. I'm so sorry. I did not know this was going to be controversial. I thought everyone hated this album.
No, not even a little bit.
In my opinion, this blows so much chunks to Kingdom Come.
Wait, okay, Cullen, I have a question. I want to hear all your thoughts about this album. Do you, in general, hate Joy Electric?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. That's it. That's all I need to know. Go ahead.
Yeah. To be fair, maybe I haven't given it enough time or anything like that, but I hated it when I was young. I thought it sounded like sophomoric and childish back then, and I think it sounds sophomoric and childish now. And I'm really not trying to say that to be mean by any means. I just despise Joy Electric, and I especially despise the Ministry of Archers. I think there's some like cool things when it comes to like the lyrical content and stuff. I like where Martin was going on some of the stuff, but I just cannot get into it. The music is so off-putting to me.
Okay.
It feels very poorly thought out and not well mixed.
Wow.
And yeah, I'm sorry. I don't.
Wait.
Like I said, I don't mean to be mean, but I really despise this album.
Mason said that we might have some like controversial takes and some heavy disagreements. So, Cullen, do you not like any of the kind of heavy bleeps and bloops sounding artists? Is that your thing? Is it not your thing? I mean,
no, totally not. In fact, I love a lot of electronic artists in general.
Interesting.
But this sounds so sampley. Not sampley. That's.
But he doesn't sample like at all.
No. That's the incorrect word. That's not what I meant to say.
Okay.
It sounds like a cheap keyboard sample. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, he has an entire song called Monosynth, talking about his monosynth.
Right. I know. I wish I could explain this better, but I just can't. The words are not coming to me.
Okay.
It doesn't. It feels like something I could have made 15 years ago.
That you could have made this album yourself. Is that what you're saying?
I do feel like that, yeah.
Wow. Okay, Mason, I want to hear your take before I share mine, if you're okay with that.
You're gonna hate me, Meg.
Oh, geez.
No!
I am just so. Maybe it's. Here's what I'll say. It's just not my style of music.
Okay.
Any sort of like synth pop stuff. There's some of it that I'm like not like into. This being one of them. There's some of it that I'm like a little bit more into. Like I don't know if you ever listened to Youth Lagoon. I really like Youth Lagoon as like a synth pop. But this, it feels like, honestly, okay. This is going to be very disparaging, okay? So,
okay.
owning that. I'm owning that, okay? This is my own thing. It sounds like 8-bit, like Nintendo Core, but synth pop.
Okay. To be fair,
it sounds like that, and I'm just like, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing.
Okay. There are some songs, I'll give you credit where it's due, that do sound very video game 8-bit NES. I get that fully. I just think it's so unique and interesting, and like very disagree with Cullen. I don't think there's any way in hell I could have made what he made. I think it is unique. I think there's nothing in the Christian world that sounded anything remotely like this. I mean, it's true. Hard to even define it.
I mean, why would you, why, if you were a Christian, why else would you do that?
I'm just saying, like, it's so unique and so interesting.
Of course you're the only one, because who else would do that?
You guys, I don't know. And it's the craziest thing because Joy Electric is not one of my favorite bands in the whole world, but I listened to this album, not when it came out in 2007. Sorry, Mason, I feel like I'm cutting into your time. What did you rank this?
It's last.
It's also last for me.
Oh my God. You guys, this is my number 3.
What?
Whoa.
What?
Oh my God.
This is my number 3. I have to be honest. I might be biased. I love Ronnie Martin. I think he's a good person. I think that he has done I think he has done something so unique, and maybe that's just because I'm really, really tired of bands that sound the same. And Joy Electric, there is no single band that has sounded similar to them, not only in the Christian world of music, but in the general world of music. And I think I just am drawn to that. I don't know. Like, there's songs that are dancey like LCD Sound System, and there's songs that are like bleep and bloop indie like Postal Service, but in general, they Joy Electric, Ronnie Martin sounds nothing like anything else, and I appreciate that and love that. Now, to be frank, I have to be in a certain mood to want to listen to him, like to be honest. But when I'm in that mood, it hits, and nothing else can. It's just what I want, and it's just what it is. So I'm more familiar with. Like, my favorite Joy Electric song is not on this album, but a dude that I liked / was into, then became a boyfriend and then an ex-boyfriend, gave me the song We Become as Murderers from this album on like a mix, and I fell in love with it pretty much immediately. Listened through the album. I think I was way too much into hardcore at that point in my life that I just didn't do a deep dive. But later, within the last, like, I don't know, decade or such, I listened to more Joy Electric and then revisited this album within the last week, and I was like, hell yeah, I love this. I just like this a lot. It's unique. It's interesting. I think it's wonderful.
I respect that.
Thank you.
I think for me, really where like the disdain comes from is I heard Give Up by the Postal Service in 2004. I know it came out in 2003, but I heard it in 2004.
It did.
And I was blown away by it. And that kind of like set the tone for me of like what is acceptable and what is unacceptable when it comes to electronic music in general. And hearing this, it just felt like a child made it. And that's where I'm in such a bad spot for it.
Well, am I around
Okay.
that time that I was listening to it? This might have been right before it, but around that time, there was an artist that was huge on MySpace. I'm forgetting his name. Play Radio Play.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Breathe Carolina.
Oh my gosh. No.
Play Radio Play.
I remember that album. Or that
Yeah,
artist.
and he ended up changing his name, but it was kind of that vibe of very electronic. And I remember even at that time, and he was 17 years old when that Play
But
Radio Play came
way
out.
more. But Mason, he was way more poppy than Joy Electric.
But
Yeah,
he
there's
was
a reason for that.
But there's a I was about to say he was so good at getting the right kind of vibe of that in a way that
Okay,
Joy Electric
okay.
couldn't do. So I'm just saying, in my opinion.
right.
So
I think
All
the
right,
other
so-
reason that
I have a question.
One more quick thing. I think the reason I really dislike Joy Electric is because the name is a ripoff of Joy Division, and they don't sound anything alike.
You know what's crazy? That's part of why I love it. That's part of why I love it. I love Joy Division. I literally, I don't know if you guys knew this, Mason. I don't know if I shared this with you. I am a goth DJ. For a year and a half now, I DJ a goth night at a local club where I live.
That's so
I
badass.
love Joy Division. And
I
the
do
fact that this artist is called Joy Electric, I think is awesome. It's paying homage, and it's my joy is in this electric output, and I don't know, I like it. I think it's paying homage. I think it's rad.
if only they were as good as Joy Division. So all right, here we are, Joy Electric. Okay, so I think that would average out to a 9, Cullen.
A 9.6, which puts it.
Is that C?
That puts it in D. That's
Before
right.
or after?
That's above
That's
TFK.
so sad.
Above
That's so
TFK?
Yeah, it's
sad.
better than TFK.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Okay,
Okay.
at least.
All right, our last two. The second to last is Spoken's Last Chance to Breathe from August of the 30th of 2005. So Spoken's Last Chance to Breathe towards the end of the year. Who wants to go first?
I can start here. This band, I think, gets kind of slept on. I think that they are misgenred over and over and over again. So they never were really able to find a place for themselves in the music scene. And I think that a lot of bands kind of struggle with this, where they can't quite find their niche in a community that's willing to latch onto them. I think they were kind of compared to Pillar in some regards, because they toured with Pillar some, but they don't sound anything like Pillar.
That's true.
No.
That's true.
They were also paired up with Red, and they don't sound anything like Red.
Nope.
So they were kind of in the dad rock scene, but they aren't dad rock, and I think that's what threw everyone off on them. But I have a distinct memory growing up, going to Blockbuster and renting the Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers video game, which, if you haven't played, is an absolute masterpiece of video gaming. And throwing on this record and listening to it over and over and over again. It was this record and Potter's Field, or whatever it is, by 12 Stones. So another dad rocky kind of band. But Spoken is so underrated. I think that Tooth and Nail was maybe a bad place for them to be. And that's not because of lyrical content, because lyrically, they definitely fall in line with the Tooth and Nail kind of ethos and everything like that. But I don't think Tooth and Nail really knew what to do with them, because they didn't really know where their genre was, or where their scene was.
This tells me nothing about how it hit then versus how it hits now.
Okay, so how it hit
Mason.
then? Good point, Mason.
Getting
Thank you.
spicy.
Back then, I just liked the tunes. I didn't love them, but I listened to the album quite a bit, right? So like,
Okay.
I thought the songwriting was good enough that I was like, this is worth my time to listen to. Today, looking back on it, I'm like, wow, there's actually some fantastic songwriting here. Like lyrically, this is a much deeper album than I ever would have imagined. Last Chance to Breathe. I'm just going to say, go check it out, listeners, because this is definitely worth your time, in my opinion. I put it at a 7.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe that's underrated in the rankings even. I don't know, but
It might even be underrated for me. Mason, can I go next?
Of course.
Cool. I had it at a 10, but that is with a huge caveat, which is that I don't think I listened to this album in 2005, even though I liked Spoken a lot. New Medicines, Mason, I don't know if you can look this up real quick, but New Medicines was the album, I believe, right before this. And, or was that Dead
By
Poetic?
them,
Am I getting
or that what the
No,
New
sorry.
Medicines
New
was
Medicines
not by
is-
them.
That's what I just realized.
That's-
New Medicine's Dead Poetic. What's the album right before this Spoken album?
Ooh,
I'm looking it up, so I remember.
let me
I'm getting
look really
Dead
quick.
Poetic and New Medicines and Spoken confused.
You should not.
What
A
is the album?
moment of imperfect clarity was
you.
in
Okay.
2000. That was in 2003 on Tooth and Nail.
Yes. Yep.
The fact that
Yes,
you
that's the one.
misjudged that with New Medicines is a criminal mistake. But you know what? We'll let
Wait,
that.
why? They
Oh
sound
my God,
okay.
it's-
In my
They
It's
actually do
so
sound-
it.
They sound.
Oh
a
my
lot
God,
alike,
it's so
actually.
different. It's so different.
It's really
thank you,
not.
Oh my
thank you,
God, no,
Cullen.
it's
I'm
different.
right there.
Sorry, Mason.
I'm right there with you, Meg.
Mason.
No,
Thank
no.
you.
No, New Medicines.
Spoken
that is
and-
Thursday through and through. Spoken was doing an entirely different thing.
I don't think so, Mason.
I think so.
I am
100%.
I am fully with Cullen, obviously. So Spoken and Dead Poetic to me were very similar in my 2003 to 2005 era. I could be totally wrong, but that is just where my brain was at the time. And
I'm right
just
there.
being
I'm right
transparent
there.
with you.
Right there with you. 100%.
Yeah, I don't know if
Thank
we
you.
could trust our 15-year-old brains that much, but all right.
Maybe not. Maybe not. I will give it to you. I did listen to this album in 2005, but I cannot remember anything that hit me too much. I listened to it again this week, and I thought to myself, this is a good emo screamo adjacent album, and my number one complaint is I wish there was more screamy stuff.
Yeah, totally.
I
so
feel
the version
yeah.
of that is called New Medicines, and it's an entirely different thing. That's basically a ripoff of Thursday. So I'm just saying, it's an entirely different thing. So no,
Okay.
if that's what
Okay.
you're
Okay.
looking for, Meg, I'm just it's already out there.
You're so in the minority.
Yeah.
It was just
I
a
don't
year
know.
before.
I'm just saying, like, this is not about album. I need to listen to it more. There wasn't enough. There weren't enough songs that grabbed me to be like, oh my God, I'm so upset that I didn't hear this more in 2005 like I felt with Terminal. Because I did hear some of the songs on this album. I liked the Spoken album before it in 2003, which you said is when it came out. I didn't know it was 2003, 2004. I liked Spoken. I knew who they were. I just, for some reason, did not fall in love with them the way that I did with Emery, the way that I did with other bands. I don't hate them. I don't love them. I think they're fine. I gave it a 10.
Oh,
Good call.
interesting.
Thank you, Colin.
God, we're really going in on this one for a D tier. So
Wow.
we're really working on this one. Yeah,
Are
I'm
you
gonna
only
give this
saying
one-
that because they never got back to us on an email?
No, it's not because of that at all. I'm gonna. So if it helps you do your math, Cullen, because I know it takes you a second to do your math. I'm gonna
Oh my
give it
gosh.
an 8. I'm gonna give it an 8. So
Okay.
I
That's
yeah,
not far away
I'm,
from me.
I'm right. Yeah, I'm right in line with all of you.
Okay.
yeah, like at the time that it came out, didn't hit me super hard. Didn't it wasn't the worst, but it was just kind of there. And it was like it was a couple songs or a song or two, whatever. It was fine. Here's what I will say about this album. So this album, came out with a cover of Time After Time, and I will say this: I do think it's the better, if not the best cover of Time After Time.
It
and
is.
I say this, I say
agree.
that, and I say this as a Iron and Wine fan. And I think this cover might be better than the Iron and Wine cover of Time After Time.
I think you're right.
So good.
I agree.
It's so ridiculously good. It's so ridiculously good. So I will say, I feel like the reason why I'm giving it as high as I am giving it is because of the Time After Time cover. It's just solely on the fact alone that it's such a good cover.
I don't know if that's appropriate, but okay.
Just saying.
I don't know if that's a fair.
All right.
Okay.
Gives
it is number 8 though. Like that's pretty low.
Wait. Okay, so Mason, you gave it a what?
An 8.
I gave it a 10. Cullen, you gave it a
7.
So
okay, so what does that make it?
That makes it an 8.3.
8.3.
All
That
right.
which is.
So where does that put it? Let's see the list.
Slightly better than number 1 Gun. So probably 1 tier above number 1 Gun, wherever that's at. I can't remember.
Okay, Mason, let's see the list here.
Slightly above or below?
Slightly above.
What?
Oh,
actually,
interesting.
It's actually quite a bit above. That puts it
I'm
at
surprised.
a B.
So what if we put that right there?
I think that's more accurate.
That makes more sense to me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's do
me
that.
too.
Are we
So
good
Waking
with this?
Ashland,
Yep. We go with
Waking
this?
Ashland goes to
I'm
D.
good with that.
Waking Ashland goes to D, and yeah, that works good.
That's not Waking Ashland.
I'm so sad. I'm
Or,
so sad
sorry,
about
not
Joy
Waking
Electric.
Ashland.
Bleach.
Yeah, that's
Bleach. Thank you. Sorry.
Bleach. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Man.
I think we have just one last one.
The last one.
All right.
One more.
So the
I have
last
thoughts.
album, the last original album in 2005 of Tooth and Nail was Project 86's And the Rest Will Follow. And that came out in September 27th, 2005. Where do we put this one?
I can start if you guys want.
Okay. Go ahead.
I put this at number 5. I like this album
Similar
quite a
to
bit.
me.
I don't think
Me
it's
too.
anywhere near their best, but
Agreed.
I think that this is it's verging on dad rock, but it's like the thinking dad rock. It's the cool dad rock.
Ooh.
Right? There's a lot of like kind of there's a lot of almost like a callback to grunge. So it's not post grunge, but it's almost like true on true grunge, in my opinion. And I think that's why Project 86 maybe did not catch on in like the mainstream necessarily, because grunge was like as absolutely uncool as possible at the time. But I think And the Rest Will Follow is just a sick record. Some really, really killer songs, but there's also some filler songs in here as well. Sincerely Ichabod, I remember that song like 100% like knocking me off my socks right away. Just chuggy and trudging and definitely taking you on a bit of a journey. I think those guys write killer riffs as well. That whole album has got great riffs. Even the filler songs have great riffs on them, but maybe the rest of the song doesn't like necessarily pull together all the way. Yeah, they make great tunes. This is not their best, but it's a pretty darn good effort, I would say. There does need to be, in my opinion, like a Project 86 like compilation album, because
fully agree. Oh my gosh.
they are notorious for having some filler and some killer on all albums.
Yep. Totally. I will follow Cullen. So my partner and I decided collectively years ago that this is the last good Project 86 album. Now, I have been told that the last couple albums, or the last album at least, has been more
Omni
heavy.
Part
and
1 and Part 2 are
you're. I think you're a little
incredible.
behind the times here.
Yes, I admit I haven't listened to them at all. And I think Mason, I think you were the one who texted me and told me that they were good. And I haven't listened to them, and that is fully on me. And I completely
It's a
admit that.
multimedia experience even.
Oh, okay, good to know.
There's a comic book that goes with it and like a whole like story.
I definitely did not know that. So the single I think from this album was "My Will Be a Dead Man." You guys can correct me if I'm wrong.
Mhm.
I don't know if it came out on like a Tooth and Nail DVD. All of the Tooth and Nail compilations DVDs, like between my mom, me, my brother, my sister didn't give a shit. She was in the country. We bought all of the things. We were a Tooth and Nail family. Like my mom
Love
wanted
that.
us to listen to Christian music, and we just did that. And so we had a lot of Tooth and Nail DVDs. The first Project 86 song I ever heard was One Armed Band, I think it was called. And I loved it. My Will Be a Dead Man, I fell in love with immediately. I listened to this album back in the day. I loved it. I listened to it within the last week, and I loved it again. And there's some songs that I think are fine, like Cullen said, and there's some songs that I'm just like, okay, here's the thing. I want to ask you guys this question. I honestly feel a little pretentious saying this, but I feel like I am pretty good at defining genres with bands. Project 86 is one of the few bands I
hard.
do not know how to define. Sometimes they're new metal.
Fair.
Sometimes they're dad rock. Sometimes they're like post-hardcore almost. I do not know how to define this band.
That's why I think they're
that's fair.
grunge.
I just don't know how to do it. And I really like this album. I liked it then. I like it now. I gave it a 4.
I feel like grunge is like the worst genre to like define them as, but
Why do
I
you say
wouldn't
that?
call them grunge. That's
But
not
gr-
one that
grunge,
I
grunge
would have given
gets,
them.
Grunge gets a kind of a weird rap because everyone thinks of like Nirvana and
Yes.
Pearl Jam, right? But
Yes.
that also includes like Mother Love Bone and Toadies and things like that, which are all over the spectrum, right?
I
mean,
guess,
like,
yeah.
there is no like defining part of grunge other than like generally pretty like dark, sad lyrics, which
Yeah.
most of Project 86 is kind of sad and dark,
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
but an anger in there as well.
Meg, did you
Yeah.
say what number you were at with that one?
Okay, I have to give a caveat with my number. I ranked it number 4, but I honestly think that part of that is nostalgia. We talked about this in the beginning of the pod. Like, some of this is going to be nostalgia, and upon, recent listen, I listened to it again, and it was just like bringing back memories, and I just loved it. And I remembered how I felt when I heard these songs and how angsty it was, but and some of the songs are angry and some of the songs are hopeful, and I feel both of those things still at my current age.
Yeah.
So I love it, and it's number 4 for me.
Love it.
So here's my context with this album. The album before Spy Hunter came out,
so good.
probably, I mean, it would
The
be
most
hard
perfect
to.
song I think ever written.
Yeah, it's just
So
one of the
good.
one of the best well-written
So good.
songs ever. Doesn't matter what genre it is, it's just so well written.
Yep.
So I'm coming off of that with that sort of expectation, and then
sure.
I hear this album, and I'm like a little underwhelmed. Not that it's bad; it's just I'm underwhelmed,
I feel that.
given the fact that I'm expecting Spy Hunter kind of level of shit.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
So I hear this album back in 2005, a little underwhelmed, given the fact that like I'm coming off of Spy Hunter level expectation. And then listening back to this, I'm like, yeah, it still doesn't hit Spy Hunter level expectation.
Totally.
That's
So it's just-
fair. That's
It's
fair.
not. It's not like I'm not saying it's bad. It's not bad. It's not the worst out of all of these for me. Not even close to that. And it never back then 20 years ago didn't hit that level of expectation, and it still doesn't hit that level of expectation. So because of that, because it's kind of just been in this like mediocre space for me for 20 years, I'm giving it a 7. So that's where I'm at.
Okay. Cullen?
Yeah, I had it at a 5, so let's see where it's at. So it's a 5 plus
So
a 7.
4, 5,
plus
7.
16 divided
That's
by
a 6,
3
right?
is a 5.3.
Oh,
Okay.
5.3. Which puts it where at?
Let me see here.
Yeah. Well, that's on you, Mason.
Let's see. Yeah.
This is
Let us know.
surprisingly high. This is above. Well,
I mean,
above
it's not
waking-
surprising to me. I don't know. I think similar to Joe Electric, like, I think
above-
Project 86, they're hard to define.
I think this is the highest end of B or the lowest end of A, but I would suggest B.
Right there.
Yeah,
I think so.
I agree
That
with you.
seems right.
I agree.
That seems right.
Yeah, me too. So I think we should each share our take about which album we think is in a very incorrect spot and why, and then
That's a good point.
be done with it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Uh,
I mean, I know what mine is, but you guys can go first.
So if I can go first, I would say that How the Lonely Keep, it for sure at least gets an A tier. Now I know that that's not a huge jump because it's the lowest B, or it's the lowest tier of the B, but I really do think it deserves to be at an A tier. I just think the world of that album. So that's when I look at all these albums, that one feels the most striking for my own personal taste.
Okay, for sure. And Mason, that's number one gun, right?
That's Terminal.
Terminal. Yeah.
Oh, Terminal. I'm sorry. Okay, I think I agree with you on that one, actually.
I would push back against that quite a bit. I also had that a very low album on mine, but I would put that at like maybe a B plus. So I'd put that at like the top of the B tier. If I was to give a little bit on that, I think pulling it completely out of the bottom end of the B tier to the bottom end of the A tier is academic dishonesty entirely.
I appreciate that.
Interesting.
Okay. I do see why you guys would want to do that. And you know what? How about you put it at the top of B, Mason? You can move
the very top.
You know what?
Yep.
I think I agree. As much as I love Project 86 and how nostalgic they are for me, I think Terminal is has more longevity.
I would agree. I was going to say this about Terminal. Project 86 has like 9 or 10 albums at this point.
Yeah.
Terminal had one. They had one full-length album.
And that's crazy. And it was so good too.
And I do think that shapes the way I think about this a little bit. Like,
yeah.
Obviously I love this album, right? I love this album. If they would have released something, let's say it was even better, this album itself, if they released something better, even if it wasn't this album, probably would just like get catapulted a little higher for me. That's why I'm just saying, like, Terminal really for me was like kind of a next level where they really could have been something else. And Cullen and I have talked about this before, but they're a band that just really could have been something more, but just for whatever reason didn't, for a variety of different reasons. And here they are stuck at the top of the B tier.
I do think that if they had more time to develop and to keep exploring that same kind of sound, that they would have landed on something pretty great.
I agree. Fully agree.
I will definitely concede that. Here's my pick. I think that Bleach being in D is kind of a rough spot for it to be. I don't think it belongs in the same tier as 1,000 Foot Crush.
Disagree.
Oh, okay.
I think they belong in tier D. I think if we were reviewing a different Bleach album, hell no. But this album is not as good as any of the other albums they have ever put out in their discography.
Sure, I can respect that. Mason, do you have anything?
Mason,
any?
I think Meg is 100% on this one. Yeah. If we're talking about a different Bleach album, C, B, maybe potentially even A. but this one in particular,
Yeah,
for
yep.
sure, top of D tier. I would like at
Yep.
the highest, at the bottom of C tier, at the highest.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
that's what
Me
I was
too.
thinking. It's a small quibble, but nothing more.
Yeah.
Meg, did you have one that you think is in a completely wrong spot?
Of course I do.
If you say
but neither
if you say Joy Electric, I'm going to say let's end the podcast now.
you know that's what I'm gonna say.
So we should end the podcast now. Then it sounds like.
Yeah, this is about a mutual agreement and a like cumulative assessment. So I concede to your perspectives, but I do not in any world believe that Joy Electric belongs in the D tier. Like, in no way. Like,
Wow.
C at a minimum, but B is where I would put it. I mean, for me personally, I would put it at the end of the A, but C is where I would put it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to put this out to the listeners, and I'm going to say, listeners.
What if we did this? Does that make it a little bit better?
No, that makes it worse. Don't.
Oh,
do
No,
that.
that's
do
much
that.
better.
Keep
Oh,
it.
oh,
Keep it.
all right.
No,
Right
Dude,
there.
you guys. Bleach. Okay, that here. Can I just give a little bit of like a pushback, like almost like a lawyer-ish like defense, real quick?
Sure.
Okay. Bleach is a good band. This album is taking the worst of copycatting from Weezer and like old 90s alt rock and this and that and whatever, and then like shoving it into a we're done album, right? Joy Electric, hate it or love it, is not doing anything that is other bands or artists are doing. So I think it at least deserves to be above Bleach. That's all I'm saying. Keep it in the D tier. I don't care,
Yeah.
but it should be above.
See, it's above Bleach right now.
That's my argument. That's all I'm saying.
Remember,
That's
Mason, you also gave that a 13, which is the worst.
Yeah.
I
It-
know
I mean,
it
it-
makes
it
me
was
so sad.
definitively.
Mason, I love you. I think your music opinions are so good. And this is the one area that I'm like, God, you're a ding dong.
I can't. I'm just like, I think whenever I listen to his albums, pretty much all of them, I'm like, what Nintendo game is this? What Mario Brothers am I playing right now? I thought I was
I'm
playing
dead.
Mario Brothers 4. Wow, I didn't realize that they released this on Super Nintendo 4.
It's so
I'm
off-putting.
dead.
It's so off-putting.
I just had no
And
idea.
I love it. I love it.
Listeners,
just-
listeners, please tell us in the comments.
You know what's
or
funny is like
message us and tell us what you
Emery
think.
released the question in 8-bit, and I thought this is
That was so
Emery's question in 8-bit is
was
better
so
than
cool.
Joy Electric's original albums.
good. 100%. Without
I'm dead.
question.
I just
Okay,
was
the
like, this is it.
craziest.
That's my take.
The craziest thing to me is I think Mason and I had the same number one, right? Right?
Yep.
Yeah. The question.
And yet my number 3 was his number 13. That is so funny to me.
I do think it's
For the
interesting
so
podcast.
good.
that our main consensus like blows every other album out of the
Oh,
water
yeah.
was the question.
Absolutely.
That
yeah.
to me, like, that's been pretty impressive. Obviously, there's a couple other albums that we're pretty close in terms of the numbers, but the question was clearly like far and above. That was the album that we were all like consensus. Like, I think there was one of us, like a couple of us had number 1. I think there was one of us that was number 2. So it was like it was clear like that the question was going to be the top.
Yeah.
Yep.
I see
So-
that. I feel that.
True.
Incredible album. I'm a huge fan of this year of Tooth and Nail, which is again, like we talked about this at the beginning of the episode. What's funny is, as much as I think this is actually a pretty great year of Tooth and Nail, if you're a Solid State listener, you're probably like, what the hell? Like, where's our year for 2005? And again, I would love to do that at some point. Hopefully we can do that here before the end of the year. But that year is incredible too. And so
Yep,
anyway,
yeah.
Arguably
just
the
like
best year
2000,
in Christian rock
2005,
alternative music.
just in terms of Tooth and Nail, if you can include Tooth and Nail and Solid State, incredible year of music.
So good.
So, yeah,
So good.
We're big fans. Obviously, Meg, you're a big fan. And so
Yes.
thank you so much, Meg, for being a part of this. I'm
Yes.
just like a huge fan of 2005 Tooth and Nail music and obviously the Solid State music as well. So thank you so much
For sure.
for being part of this.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun. Oh my gosh. I appreciate it so much.